Oh, Hassan, you're on there.
Yeah, I'm
Manny,
on
how
it.
you doing? How you doing? How did you think that went?
I don't know what to say, mate. To be honest with you, good at the end, but a
Yeah.
disaster in the beginning. To be honest with you,
What do you mean a disaster?
well, I just don't think he made it easy
Uh,
at all.
what can?
Uh, Yeah,
Well, you know he's not going to make it easy, is he? He's not going to go in there like play the game like they idiots do. What was
do
you
you,
expecting?
Yes,
Manny? What do you think?
could you guys enlighten me? I missed the first bit of the show, so I'm not sure what happened. I only came in when Jedi left.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty. Oh, go on, you tell me. You tell
no,
me.
no, go on, Raj. Go on, bro. Sorry.
I'm still traumatized, so I can't remember the whole thing. But he did basically call out the whole of Gang and Jedi and Rasif and them lot and Rajiv. He did call him. What did he call him? He actually said a derogatory word against him, which I can't condone and stuff. So what can I say, man? I don't know. I don't know. I still say no one like whatever like, on Sunday when Tan comes here, he has a right to speak, and no one should attack him. We don't have to agree with him. Yeah. But
Can
no
I?
one should be going around trying to attack him or hit him or arrest him or take him out. As long as he's not breaking the law, let him speak.
Has
I don't
anybody
have to agree,
threatened him?
but I'm just
Yeah,
saying. I mean, I think it's still going to start up in the ante now, and so I'm just like saying that
Raj,
um,
can I ask you a question, please? To
yeah,
you guys,
yeah,
please. And to
yeah.
everyone in the panel, did
Do
you
me a
find it,
favor, guys. Hold on,
Raj,
block that.
Raj,
Oh, no, 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 no. First of all, I need
Raj,
to block. Go, go,
Raj,
go, go, go,
Raj,
go.
please look.
Yeah.
Did you find it bizarre that they had Tan there, and
Mm,
yet they didn't even ask one question to him? Not one.
mm,
They waited until he got there, until they were given the opportunity to talk, and
uh,
then they made their stand to leave. I mean, did
uh,
you find that a little bit bizarre? And every single guest,
mm.
apart from a very few, did it the same
No, I
thing.
didn't. Did you find it? I didn't find it bizarre. I thought, well, that. I mean, what do you think they were going to do? They're going to sit there and listen, and then they're not going to listen. They were going to leave. Remember, the original plan was not to have Tan on that show. The original plan was to have a pre-show and then a Tan show. So none of them planned to be on the show with Tan. So obviously, when he got on there, some of them were like, all right, I don't want to be on the show with him, and they left. I don't think that was unexpected.
But they waited until they were given the opportunity to talk to them, to Tan. That's the thing that's freaking me out. I'll get it if they, the minute Tan come on, they all skipped out, but they didn't. They
No,
all
no, but
waited
Tan
until they
said,
had.
hold on. They asked him a question. Are you racist? Tan said yes. Some of them were like, all right, fair enough. That's all I want to know, and they left. It wasn't like they wanted to hear something profound or anything. They just wanted to hear him giving a reason as to what he said. X, Y, Z. I don't believe Tan is racist. If I'm being honest with you, I've seen him with so many different race people, and he's never been different to any race. It's not like all of a sudden, say, an Asian person comes and he treats them badly, or a black person. No, no. As long as you are on his particular wavelength, I think
Yeah,
he hates. Basically, his definition of racism isn't about color; it's about your ideology. And so he doesn't hate people based on race. I actually think he's not racist in any way. I just think he hates people that think they're victims or they're this or that or are not in his wavelength. Because have you ever seen him be racist to anyone? Like I'm not talking about words. I'm talking about behavior.
No,
never.
he's not racist behaviour on action wise. But can I just say, what did Saracen say? That he's working for some group.
Yeah, well,
Uh,
basically he's saying that shut up, Lexi. I'll talk as much as what you got to do. Get off. Um, so yeah. With what's it called? He's saying that Tan is pretty much. I'm not saying this is what he was saying. Is that Tan is employed by the far right to kind of instigate and push the boundaries of free speech to see how far they can push it. And I think she was saying he was not she he was saying that it was for Britain that he's getting paid by, especially so they can write their manifesto. This is what I got from it. It's kind of a weird rambling something. I don't know exactly what he was saying.
Yeah, well, I asked, I said through Callum that I didn't believe that he wrote the manifesto, and I also asked why did he use the esoteric term Brave New World. He didn't answer the second part of the question, but he did say that Lucy edited or wrote or whatever the
He
speech,
never
but
said
it was
that.
his speech, but she edited it or something.
No, he didn't say that. He didn't say that. I've read that. I've listened to the speech. That doesn't sound like something Tan couldn't write. I
Yeah,
think
well,
you're.
I've done a bit
I
of
think people
speech
are.
recognition.
I think. Well, hold on. I think people are underestimating Tan's ability to write. I mean, you may have your English may not be amazing in terms of articulating yourself, but you might have great written English. I know some people that can't speak a language but can write the language.
No,
Yeah?
that is something.
So,
That is something that Tan would say. I've skimmed over it, but not in the context and not in the grammar that it's been written. But now that he said that someone's edited it or proofread it
no,
for
he
him,
said that.
now
No,
I
he
understand.
said
You
they
can't.
didn't. No,
You don't.
He said he did.
Let me finish, Raj.
Yeah.
So I was saying, so now that he's confirmed that somebody has proofread it, then now it makes sense why it's written the way it is.
Yeah, but he said categorically that he asked, but she said no. She didn't have time.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. So, guys, you still haven't enlightened me as to what is it that Tan said that's so terrible to Jedi and them lot.
Well, no, it's not specifically to them, obviously, but he called them out and said those are the people that he's going for in gang. But the thing that's going to be problematic for probably himself is that he said he's a racist. So when they said, "Are you racist?" He said, "Yes," but I've never seen, like, apart from words, I judge people by behavior. Like, I've never seen Tan walking around treating, say, that person less than that person. That is how a racist is. They will go in. If you look at his collection of people, the people that are around him that got on with him, and we was in McDonald's, there were a mix of everything, every single different color. So I think he's saying the word racist, but he means not race in the way we think it. I think he's got a different definition, and he's saying this to kind of trigger people, in my opinion. This real caster, I'm blocking that dwelling prick. Can you? I'm blocking him. He's gone. Block him. He's out. Not having that shit in here.
All right. Well, it sounds like the gang are going to get what all of us got last week.
Well, that's what you're saying. So I don't know. I mean, all I really, if I'm being honest with you, all I really care about is that he doesn't get hurt. That's it. I mean, he can say what he wants, just don't get hurt. I don't have to agree with you, but I don't think anyone should be beaten up or attacked for their words, in my opinion. No matter how abhorrent you might find it, once it gets to the point that people start hitting people, then no. Even if he said like I said to people, I said I would even talk to a Nazi. Literally, I would, and I wouldn't tell them to not come Speaker's Corner. Come Speaker's Corner, let me speak to you.
Yeah.
Where is Hassan?
Hassan's rolling something up.
Is he alive? Is he still alive, Hassan?
I'm just a little bit stunned, to be honest with you. I mean, I really am taken aback today.
Why?
Good or bad? Good or bad?
I don't know, to be honest with you. Sort of confused in a bizarre way. Like Callum asked Tan a quite straightforward question, and he asked him, what's like a plan, like what's going to happen? Understand me? Like what's the end goal? Like everyone could tell you the end goal, can't they? I mean, what's your end goal, Raj? I mean, what's your end goal, Manny?
My end goal is to be blocked from Pakistan and to have a statue in Saudi Arabia where everyone worships me. That's my plan.
All right, funny boy. I don't know. I haven't formed my end goal yet.
I don't know. Mine's just a happy, peaceful life. I just thought Tan. He just didn't do himself no favors, man. He could have really just used that in a more beneficial way, can I say, than how he just went on. Like, to be honest with you, I'm not going to judge Tan because I've got to first ask him my questions. I've got to look him in the eye and ask, understand me. But like going back to what you were saying, Raj, I've never seen Tan racist. I've never
I've never
seen
been
him
racist.
in his words and more in his actions. Like,
It's not about your words, it's your actions. How do you treat individuals? Yeah,
yeah,
people say racist words all the time, but I've not seen once that he has gone up to a black person and treated them differently, say from an Asian person or from that person. And so this is why I'm saying to you that when he's saying that he's racist, I think what he's pretty much doing is like weeding out the people that he probably wants to antagonize. Because I mean, the problem with a lot of people here is that they have not spent any time with Tan at all. Yeah.
yeah.
And so they can only judge him by his words. But when you look at his actions and you see him and you walk him, you go McDonald's with him, and you see him in his without this hoo-ha, he does not have the racist ideology in the way he behaves.
Right.
And can I just say something to you, Hassan? If your end goal is to have a peaceful life, why are you going around freaking making your life hell?
That's a simple
That's
one because
that's
because it's better to cut the bullshit now than for it to go on and on and on and let it manifest. It's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Then you're going to have a bigger problem to deal with. That's
all right.
right.
So Sunday's going to be relatively either it'll be
Hell,
an anticlimax or it'll be well, I
hell,
don't know what's going to happen. If I'm being with you.
hell, hell.
I don't know. I don't know what Tan's got planned. That's the thing. So we'll have to wait and see until the day. But I personally, um, if you're looking at the real definition of racist, I don't think Tan's racist when it comes to that definition,
No,
in my opinion.
no, I don't believe he is as well.
No, but he himself is saying that he is.
No, it doesn't matter what he says.
Man,
It's
I
your
can say
actions
I'm
that matter.
Superman. Does that mean I'm
No, but
Superman?
it does matter
It doesn't.
because
I can say
it
I
doesn't
can say I'm
matter
a
to
psycho.
us.
Hold on. Yeah.
It doesn't matter to us because I'm agreeing that I've hung around with Tan now and I've spent a bit of time with him away from the cameras. He can be really humble and he's really nice to talk to. However, that's not how certain members of Speakers Corner attendants are going to view it. So it's a case of they're going to be looking at Tan saying yes, I am racist, and then them reacting in an emotional way.
Obviously, no one's saying like Tan saying it's like me saying I'm a psychopath. Yeah.
Yeah,
Unless I behave like a psychopath, that's just me saying I'm one. Yeah. Some people will probably say I am a psychopath. Yeah, he did though. Bigger Valley's in the house, yeah. But I'm saying, has he ever? Let me ask Bigger Valley. Has he ever treated you as a black person any less than say the way he treats a white person or this or that? He can say he's a racist and he can spew racist words, but until I see his behavior being racist, like him treating other races less than next, I can't say he's a
exactly.
genuine racist. All I
And
can
it's
say
true what Dan's saying
all
as
I can say is
well.
that he
He
says he's a
can go, I
racist.
suppose.
Where's JK the Paki? Oh, all right. Sorry, JK. I can say it. I want to destroy Pakistan anyway, so I can say Paki anyway. Yeah. All right. So, what time did you get into the chat then, Manny? I can't remember when you got in. Where is he?
Fuck, he's one for going for a piss.
Oh, all right. I thought he was trying to get to Tan to relieve him. You know, he's
No, I
horny
don't
at the
want to be
minute.
nasty. It's true what you're saying. Like, just because you say something doesn't mean that's what you are. I mean, if that's the case, that I'm gonna go around saying to people I'm a stud. Like, it's your words have got to
Oh, shit.
fit with the action that you're doing, and it's not. Tan's got the most biodiverse community in that whole of that area. I mean, he's got a spectrum, literally a spectrum of people.
This is what I'm saying. He is really, in my opinion, he's not racist. What he is bigoted to the sense that he has an ideology, and if you're with him, you're with him, and if you're not, you're not. And that's kind of like why I was pushed out of it. But do I think he pushed me out of Tangoism because I'm Asian? Nothing to do with that. It had nothing to do with that. It was just that my mindset is slightly different to his. So I've never seen him. Now I'm going to say to people like, until he shows me, he has said he's racist, so he said it. But until he shows me, I mean, remember when did he come speak his corner? He came last year in like December or something, and I've seen him for hours and hours and hours and hours, and we spent time with him outside and blah blah blah. And all of these people around him, yeah, have been from different races, different this and that. But I've never seen him treat one race. Yeah, it's not like he treats white people more than black people or black people less than that person. I've always seen him treat everyone the same. So is that a racist?
No.
I
From
don't.
what I remember, a racist was someone that just can't stand anyone else apart from their group. That's
No,
what
no,
I
but
was.
it can also be a different type of racism where you can speak to somebody, but you kind of treat them less. And this is what I'm saying. Oh, shut up, Magabo, you stupid gutter dwelling prick. I feel like blocking him, man. I might block him in a minute. I can't
No,
stand that guy.
just let him talk, man. I love them when they
All right,
talk.
all right,
Just
all right.
make
Yeah.
it
So
fun.
if he's Pakistani, your freaking cricketer of a bloody prime minister is a complete dipshit. I've been researching him. So the other thing is that basically with thingy, um, with Tan, his behavior is not that of a racist. You can say
His
he's
action,
an Islamophobe. You
well,
can say
his
he's an
actions.
arsehole. You can say this. So that's all I'm saying.
It's don't get me wrong. I've read that manifesto maybe several times of Tan's, and not once have I sort of like read that line and gone, yeah, that's Tan. Yeah, the way I just thought it's just basically sarcasm, you know, to the system. Yeah, yeah, I'm a racist. I'm a bigot. I'm a Nazi. You know, let's get that argument over, and then we could just address the real problem.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah. Because if he, all right, what would have happened, yeah, if he said I'm not racist, all that would have that whole show would have been about would have been trying to prove he's a racist, and
yeah.
so it would have just went downhill. So I think what he's trying to do is like, all right, let's take the air out of that particular argument. Let's take out the wind here, and just from the start say I'm a racist, so we can then start talking about other stuff.
Mm. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on and talk about the real issues. I may be giving him too much credit. You know,
The
sometimes
same.
I read. Thing about me is sometimes I read into things about Tan, and maybe sometimes I think, oh, I'm giving him too much credit. Maybe he's not really that calculated. Because I'm starting to think here. I know this sounds a bit weird. Um, I started to think to myself that he chucked me out of Tangoism, so I didn't have to have that heat of that kind of defending him and then having to do this. You understand? And I thought it was a kind of like a way to kind of uh, give me a bit of a break because it would have been very difficult after Sunday, after what he said against Seats, to still be fully into tangoism. Do you understand? Like him telling me you're out actually made life easier for me. What do you think, Hassan?
Do you want me to be honest with you? If you're not going to interrupt me, yeah, because there's people
I
starting
know,
to
I
get
know,
really
I know.
upset.
Sorry.
You know,
Sorry.
at one stage, I thought that Tan was getting sponsored by Netflix. I swear to God, I really did. Because, please just let me finish it. Because at every single end of each time he spoke, he mentioned the film. And I was like, Tan, like, just explain what that film is. Now I've got to go watch 3 films just to understand what love means according to him, what that means according to him, what that means according to him. I'm like thinking, bro, you're not making it simple for people, you know, like people need bulletproof, bullet points. Go to A, check that out, you know, think about it, gather yourself, go to B, think about it, gather yourself, go to point 3, gather yourself, think about it, and then come to a conclusion. But this way, it's like, what the fuck have you done? What the fuck have you done? And it's not right what it's doing in waging war against gang. But literally, I don't want to sound horrible, and I know he didn't directly threaten it, but he's literally gone, well, you know, the law's the law, and basically we can do what the fuck we want, like as long as you're willing to face up to your action, like. And then Tan going on top of it and saying, well, fund that, I'm coming in.
Yeah, well, at least well, at least he's consistent.
Yeah, yeah, no,
Doing
no
that,
shit.
he's not letting anyone off the hook. Um, you know, I don't know what to say. Like all I look personally. Oh, look who's here, Mr. Rack's in the house.
Yes,
I'm gonna restart. Oh, Sarah Lipper's in the house as well. I need to start reading comments. Let's start going through some. Start asking some questions, and we'll start answering some.
yeah,
Who is
that'd be a
it?
good.
Yeah, someone said I spent all blah blah said that I spent all that time with him, but I didn't even know that he hated seats. I know that's bad. That is.
I speak to
Chinky Cinder
Tan, man.
eyed gook. That's what Bobby G says. Chinky, chink slanty eyed gook. Poor Tan. How sad. Yeah, I
Tan,
mean, right,
bro,
yeah.
Tan's an intelligent lad, bro.
Of
Like,
course he is. He's not thick. No way. He's very
no way
intelligent.
he's stupid, bro. And this troll, you know, this troll idea that's going around as well. I'm getting kind of sick and tired of hearing that shit as well. Like, no disrespect to Sarah, I think he's a fucking top guy. And even if I don't think of it, may he still get all the blessing that he's been getting. But it's weird, like people are not listening to what he's actually saying. Like, you know, it's not. You know, no one's this. It's like the racist thing. Like, he's going, yeah. You know what? Label me because that's if that's what I'm going to be known as. Let's just get on with it and get on. He's talking about the actions that people are doing in regards to the education of themselves and all the rest of it. But still, they go back to it. And every time they get given the opportunity to talk to him, they can't. So they must not really have a logical argument to have with him. Because what did Thing do? Black Cap guy do? He waited all that fucking time, all that time. And then what did he do? When, oh no, I've got a question for Callum. Are you
Hmm.
shitting me? Are you shitting me? You know, you spent the whole of that thing. You've taken that slot for what? So you can ask Callum them. And the question, what was that bizarre, stupid question that he asked? What was it?
Oh, he's
Seriously.
back. And
What?
he was back. Yeah, about him letting someone on the platform. Um, can I say something? Let me say something. Um, one thing I've realized over the last, Mr. Mangaba, I'm blocking you now, you little gutter dwelling prick.
No,
You fucking,
leave him.
oh, freaking hell,
He
man.
likes
That stupid
me.
little dickhead. What? Yeah, he likes you, but I'm gonna chuck a zakum down his throat, that little shitbag. What it is, yeah. One thing I want people to understand: Tan
Yeah,
is not joking. I think people need to seriously
yeah,
understand this now. A
yeah.
lot of people think, yeah, even I thought from sometimes, I thought, oh, is he trolling? He's not a troll. He believes, you know, I'm gonna actually block someone, so don't say anything, Raj. Shut the hell up, you little prick. And he's a Sikh as well. I'm gonna block him next time I see him on my channel.
No, not a
Um,
Sikh brother,
no, on
man.
my, no, I don't give a shit, man. I don't like that dude at all. He's always talking shit. Some Sikhs are getting chucked off my channel pretty quickly. Um, so the thing is that, with Tan, a lot of people think that he is trolling, and I thought that as well until say when he got back. Then I was like, okay, all right. I think Tan is got a deadly serious agenda, and whether we agree with it or not, but whether we think it's a joke or not, it doesn't matter. I think he believes it's true, and he's got an agenda. That's my personal opinion.
Look, I get that. I get no one should sort of like come in between between you and their destiny. I get that bit, but and to be honest with you, I don't care. Like if Tan does what he wants to do in respect, it's his life, and it was up to me to sort of like have his back on it. I get that part, but the part that I don't get is, you know, the truth. Like when it was asked the truth, like what is the truth, you know, and I'm seeking the truth. Well, you know, it's really questioning me. Do you know where you're actually going? Like, do you get that the route that you're going to take is not the most easiest way, and there's a far more dignified route, shall we say, to take than the one that you're planning to embark? Like, you know, that question is coming to my mind. Do you understand me? Like, you know, he really has thrown in the seed of doubt into my head today. I can just say that he really has.
No, but this is the problem I have with people. Like, did you seriously from day one have 100% faith in Tan? Because if you did, then there's a problem. I never have a faith 100% in anyone. Not Tommy Robinson, not myself. There's only one person I have faith in. That's my mum. Everybody else is questionable. I will question you, and I will not trust you at all. Even you, Hassan. Everybody, Manny, everybody. Yeah. I do not have any faith in anyone. And so when someone does something, I'm not that disappointed. Yeah. So if you had that real kind of what I call like Tan is infallible, then that's why you're going to feel let down, because no one is infallible.
Raj, can I just judge
on before I go on? Before I hold on one thing, I think you as a Muslim need an infallible character like Muhammad in your life. So you chose Tan as a replacement. Is that true?
No, and you got one extra zakum in your basket for that one.
Manny. Yes, mate.
Manny, can I ask you a question? And I just want an answer from you. How do you judge a person on his trust on a stranger, a total stranger? And I'll tell you mine afterwards, or mine first, up to you. And because I know Raj is going to waffle on for ages, but
terrible.
How do you trust people? How's your trust barometer?
You can only judge. You can only judge a stranger from the evidence that they provide. You can't judge them, anything beyond that.
Thank you.
So, but having said all that, there's no requirement of a deep trust with a stranger. It's not that you're going to give them your bank card and the PIN number. You're not going to give them your home address or, that type of personal information. So, it's fine. So there's no contract. There's no agreement until a relationship solidifies in the future.
Well, I'll answer mine. I trust someone in like a scale. I've got like a barometer. The more that they lie, and the more damaging lie that I get caught with, the less that I will trust them. So if someone's, from what I know, I'll give them like a 60% trust barometer, and the more truth they say on top of it, the more I can trust them, and by the words and the actions that they follow, I trust them a lot. Now, Tan, yes, I'm going to say Tan has gained a lot of trust from me because he's been able to stick to a narrative, and it's been the same from day one. Now the narrative's slightly changing, and yes, these are new grounds that we're walking into, so to speak. But it's still, if you go back to your last recorded history of Tan, it was going up, and it had been going up for so long. So yeah, maybe I am sort of like, I don't know, clouded. Could that be the word? Biased? Could that be the word? Maybe scripted in that sense, in that way. But I don't see why I've got to trust him any less than what I had trusted him before. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I suppose it does.
Well, no, but the thing is that can I talk now? Because everyone says I talk a lot.
I'm an Indian.
All right, good says I'm an Indian. Let me just look through some of these posts so I can read some stuff. Rats of Show Dollar is in the house. Imran Khan says he's going to make the Rats of Show Dollar, the capital of Pakistan. It's not going to be Jalala. Where is it now? Jalalabad. I don't know where that capital of that shithole is, yeah. But he's going to make Show Dollar the new capital. And they're going to have a giant rat to worship. All right, so I'm trying to get blocked off of Pakistan, but they're not doing it yet. Get those freaking Pakistanis to start blocking me.
No.
Oh, someone's asked a question. Do you believe in Oh, the chosen one, tangoism. Your English is tangoism. You
I love
dipshit.
what Bobby G just said. You know that. Just read that out, please. That's so
Where? Can't see it.
Jedi and Co.
Oh,
It's
right.
funny. Professional victims.
Right. And
Oh, that's so
someone keeps on
true.
calling JK, my bro JK, the guy
So
that you always roasting for being a moderate, a packy all the time. Only I can call him a packy. You can't call him a packy unless you're a packy yourself. Then fair enough. Obviously, I'm a packy as well. I know people are going to go mad, but let's have a look. I'm trying to go through these messages. Tam proving. All right.
no,
Beers.
read them out, man. I want to hear the not
Um,
so nice ones as well.
so people are saying, Raj, bring some Zakums to speakers corner. I will. I'll bring them down. I'll start shoving them down people's throats. So Hassan, you cannot take. I'm coming. Someone's one life. Live it. He's coming to speakers corner on Sunday. I don't know what he's gonna do there. Hassan's ready for some bum action if you do. He's a little bit kind of, what are you? You're a little bit bored at the moment. Bromance is over, Dwayne Dibley said. Oh no, Hassan, what do you say to that?
No. Truth.
Alright,
That's not cool, Bigger Belly, bruv. I wish, I swear to God, you know what? If that were the case, I swear to God, I would love that. That would be so easy. But geez, is
all right,
you know,
so
you got to speak to him
pre-SD.
for 10 minutes, man. Just 10 minutes. Just speak to him for 10 minutes and you understand what I mean. He's not an empty head, man. He's not. He's full to the brim, like to the point, and he makes it effortlessly as well. Like when he talks, like his English is rubbish. I get that his English, like his execution of the language is pathetic, but if you listen to the words and listen to what he's saying, Tan is deep. When I mean fucking knowledgeable, and I don't mean just one aspect. Like you get at Speaker's Corner, they just know one thing and could talk about that until the cows come home. Tan, you can go for a full spectrum of topics, and he's diverse in it all. Like Europe, for fuck's sake, you know, European history, you know, the Orient's history. The kid's wised up. He's not a silly boy, and the industry that it was in. You know, when you get to talk to him, and I'm not going to reveal too much. You need to be a smart lad to do that kind of job as well. So the proof is in its pudding in that sense. To understand me? Like, I wish he was. I swear to God, if he was stupid, it would be so much more easy. You just go, you know what, you're an idiot, and just walk away.
Let me read out a comment, which is a good comment. First of all, to Manchester, God no, I don't want to say your name, you Manchester 66, you freaking gutter dwelling prick. Hate that dude, man. I'm gonna block him soon anyway. He's always saying flip flop, right? I'll chuck a flip flop in your mouth, you idiot. An Indian flip flop with some freaking shit on it from your gutter dwelling country in Pakistan. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll make sure it's excrement all over it from your little rat people. Right in your mouth, you gutter dwelling prick. I hate that dude. All right, so pre-HD, yeah. Pre-HD, can I say something to Pre-HD? I met him, yeah. I want my Hindu brothers to start coming down. I know I'm always bashing India, but I'm talking about India as a country. I don't hate Hindus. Hindus are my ancestors, yeah. They were my people as well. So we've had the same shared history at some point. So I don't understand why you guys are such pussies, yeah. And I'm gonna say it. Grow some freaking balls, PhD, not just you. Get some of your people down. Stop hiding in the corners like little chue that you normally do. That's what a lot of Hindus do. If you guys are right, yeah. There's a lot of Hindus that don't say they're Hindus because they're so scared. Come down, come with me, and I'll protect you. The Sikh will protect you like we do in India. So just stand by my side and I'll roast anyone that goes over to you. But I want the Hindus to start coming down and start sticking up for themselves. I'm giving you a roasting out of love, not out of hate. If I want to do it out of hate, yeah, I wouldn't even say anything more. I'd be like roasting you, saying I'm going to chuck a zakum down your throat. So PhD, sorry about that little rant. I'm going to do a show on that, actually. I want you to come on. So PhD, Tan said when he came London last year, it was the Muslim behavior that motivated him to do something. And a year later, here we are. I can't see this whole thing ending without violence. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Good. Sorry about the rant first. Your message was actually very good. But I had to put that in the beginning. Yeah, what do you think about it? Did you hear that?
No.
Oh my god! Or did you hear the beginning bit when I'm roasting them?
Yeah, I heard that bit. That was funny.
Yeah, obviously you heard that bit. The bit that when I'm chucking Zakums down their throats. All right, so
Yeah,
PSP, Tan said when he came London, Tan said when he came London last year, it was the Muslim behavior that motivated him to do something. And a year later, here we are. I can't see this whole thing ending without violence. What do you think about that?
No way. No way. Come on, guys. When have you ever seen Tan be violent? Seriously, come on, man. Like, even like trying to entertain this is a bit bizarre.
No, you're not understanding what we're saying. Not Tan being violent, people being violent towards him. Oh,
Well,
God.
he's done that before, and it always goes bad.
I'm starting to hate you. I'm starting to hate you, Hassan, man. Can you listen, please?
No.
You got Zakum up your mouth,
My
or you got,
arse.
or have you got someone singing in your mouth? I'm getting a bit done. Rats of Tan is savage. So let's read some more questions. And let's have a look. Big up Raj. Oh, Rats of Show Dollar said big up Raj and Tan. Oh my god, and it's got Rat Boy's face on it. That's unbelievable. Show dollar for capital of Pakistan. That's what we're gonna do. It's a good representation of what the country's like. The complete shithole with rat people all over the place. Ban me from Pakistan, please. Ask if Hassan. Oh, I've gone back all the way. I'm not even reading anything apart from hate messages. Put some freaking thingy. Let's have a look. Put some questions. Real TV, shut up. I'm not gonna let Manny talk. You know I don't let anyone talk. I don't know why anyone's surprised. You know, why are they so surprised? You know, some people. I'm gonna say to people here, yeah. Are people saying, Raj, I'm gonna unsubscribe because you talk too much. Unsubscribe. I don't care. Leave it. Why are you on there talking about that bullshit? Oh, Uncle Ty. Yeah. Oh, I love Uncle Ty, man. Uncle Ty done a freaking 12-hour massive live stream. Big up to Uncle Ty. Bigger value. Did you watch that, Hassan? That 12-hour live stream, deadly, man.
No. You didn't send me the link, bitch.
Oh yeah, I have to send it. It was so big it didn't go through. I don't think the computer blew up.
How do you
No,
do
but
a
he done a
12-hour thing, man?
That's Ty for you, man. We're like amateurs compared to Uncle Ty. Like he
I'll
proper
put
killed it, man. Oh my god, you need to watch that. I saw the light. I saw the stream at like 10 o'clock, and then I woke up the next morning and Ty was still there. I thought I just woke up after an hour. It was like 12 hours later.
Oh man, good. I'm glad that he gets a lot of credit from me for standing up to that bully, because he is a bully. I don't give a shit what anyone says. Jedi is a bully. I've seen how he goes on. I mean, for fuck's sake, for someone blowing smoke on him or sneezing on him, and it triggers him like as if the fucking nuclear wars just started. Do you understand me? It's mad.
Bigger Valley. Well, Bigger Valley's in the house, but he's giving me no juicy gossip or anything, which is no good. Angela Murnahan. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Angela Murnahan. Is it Murnahan? It makes me giggle. All the people dropping out.
Can I address Castro, please? Listen, everyone is scared of everyone, but I can tell you one thing. He will be a lot more scared when he's sitting in a prison cell, looking out the window and wondering how someone had the power to put him there. You understand me? When it comes down to talking, if people can't talk, if they can't talk, they shouldn't talk. You understand me with people? Now, if people want to come to fight, that's a different story. Great. And then if people want to do that, there's a time and a place for it. And it's not at Speaker's Corner. So if people wants to come down and hit people, that's no problems. You know what? I'll get my Crime Stoppers reward money from you and my victim support. And guess what? You could all just be thankful that I've just given you a 3-month holiday. You understand me? I'm saying this clear. If I see anyone hitting anyone in the park, trust me when I say this, I do not give a flying fuck. Call me a grass all day long. Guess what? I will report it. And I would actually take time to go to court and point you out and say it was him or her or the dog or the stick or whatever it is. I'm just letting you know. If anyone's coming down that's easily triggered, I suggest you stay at home. It's up to you, free world and all that, but just to stay at home. Because if you can't take it, don't come out. Stay at home. Learn to get a tough skin, and then move on. It's starting to get boring looking after you, mangina bitches. Oh, look what he said. Oh, look what he said. Oh, so what? So what? You ain't been brought up in a North London school. You know, if these kids were brought up in a North London school when I was brought up, oh my God, by the time you were 11, you would have heard everything anyway. You would have heard everything. You would have heard everything. You wouldn't. I don't know, mate. I just don't know. There must have just been.
Oh, Betty Closet's in the house. She was very upset with Tan. At least you gave him your thoughts. She said what she thought. Do you want to come on? I don't know if she wants to come on. Maybe we could chat to her as to why.
Yeah,
she's
bring her on, mate. I like Betty Closet.
Yeah,
I just found that she just.
If she wants to have if you want to say
outraged
your
by
piece
that
and
outrage,
I mean, all right. So Dwayne Dibley, Jason Medeni. Yeah, all right. Let's have a look. You don't need to stay in the hood. Go live. Oh, go live. Forget go live. He's just gonna start talking about freaking chopping our heads off if we don't convert and stuff. You're okay for the Islamic talk, but not this. Mr. Carlson Singh in the house. All right. Tan said he would punch. He didn't say he would punch for the gang. Like he said, well, I don't know what he meant. I'll be honest with you. Some of it I need to watch back just to hear what he was saying. Mr. Rax. Where's the Hindus at, man? I'm gonna get a Hindu Hindu circle going. Imagine that a Sikh has to get a Hindu circle going.
Did you watch his last streams? That trailer, Mr. Ratsid. Oh man, that kid has got some talent. That kid's got talent. Seriously,
Mr. Rax.
Mr. Ratsid's trailer videos. They're like a minute, 10 seconds long.
Oh, can you send it? Can you? Sorry, Manny. Can you send a link to Betty? Let's chat to her because I want to have a bit of a. Let's get someone black in the house, and she's a woman as well.
Hey, Raj, stop that, please.
No, but it's good for diversity.
Man, that's not nice, geez, man.
Like, African Pharaohs. African Pharaohs, all right. Let's get African Pharaoh on. Do you want to go on African Pharaoh? I think let's get African. Let's talk to some black people. What do you think, Mr. Thingy?
Is Betty Closet also NNE mother?
A what? A what?
Yeah, there's a nickname here on Hangouts. Double NE.
No, just is that it? Betty's Closet? I don't know. Give him a link, Betty. I don't know what's going on. Yes, that's her. That's me. She said knee though. So I think she's washing the dishes. So one hand is busy, so she didn't wipe me properly. What?
All right.
What? There's nothing wrong with washing dishes, is it?
My parents weren't cousins, to be honest with you. My dad is from a place that's really close to Russia, and my mum to a place close to Europe, quite far apart, to be honest with you.
No white people on there, Romy Robinson. We're racist towards whites. No white privilege today. I know Hassan's white, but he's actually got a mix of a Turk in him, so he kind of gets a bit of a pass. Yeah. What about you, Bigger Valley? Let's get you on, man. Valley, come on. Give us your thoughts on what's going on. Come on, get on the live chat. I can ask you about I'm an Indian as well, and he's daggering. I didn't ask you last time. Where is he? He wasn't there.
Who's coming on now? Is Finn coming on?
Yeah, Betty Closet will come on, and then we can ask what is so agitated.
I am a bit Russian, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
RCW.
Real TV, shut up, you little dipshit.
Oh, leave him alone. He's all right, man.
No. All these people say, Raj, don't let him. Shut up. You could tell me to shut up. You could tell me to shut up. Or Manny could tell me to shut up. They don't tell me to shut up. If Manny said to me, shut the F up, Raj, fair enough. Don't let these little pricks, these little dimmies on here bloody telling me to shut up. Who are they?
We need those dimmies, man. You gotta show love to the dimmies, geez. Come on.
There are little, not those ones. The other ones will give. Look at that. This Lorenzo called me a pancho.
Yo, someone's blocked Betty. Why? Please do me a favor.
Who
Don't ever
blocked
block
Betty?
Betty ever again. Yeah, listen, Manny,
I've sent it to Betty.
again.
Oh,
a link
she's got an email.
to her Gmail. She wants it.
I've sent it to Gmail.
And can you delete that as well?
Who blocked Betty? Anyone blocks Betty
don't
again? We're
block
taking
Betty
you off.
please. In fact, guys, can we not block people? Like, we're free speech advocates and we're blocking people. Like, serious? Come on, man. Let them show themselves.
What about African Pharaoh? Let's get African Pharaoh on. He's all right. I've never spoken.
No, I don't know African Pharaoh.
Oh, Manny won't let you on. He's being racist. Sorry, guy.
I've had enough of Raj's recommendations.
Yeah, you're right.
Betty
Sorry, we'll do another show next time. We'll get you on, but he's being racist today. He won't African Pharaoh.
Again, who's blocking Betty, man?
Oh, some idiot. Who is it? We're gonna freaking take your moderation.
You know what, guys? You know, another thing, we've got to be careful who we allow to moderate, man. Like, come on, if they're
I've reviewed the moderators on my side.
Let's have a look. I'm gonna check which one it is. What was wrong with me? Oh, JK's in the house. He's in the house. Leave him alone, Manny. Hassan.
Look, I had my time with him. He's done now. I've got no time for that kid.
Raj's Sikh in general. Live. I don't know what that means. Manny blocked Bigger Valley. No, Bigger Valley. Bigger Valley, why don't you come on? Don't be like COE in the background. Be your own person. That you'll always be known as COE's brother, Leon's brother.
Make your mark, for heaven's sake.
Start making your own way, so you can be. So when people will start saying, "This is," whenever we see Leon, we'll say, "This is Bigger Valley's brother." Let's change it round. Get on the show.
Exactly.
Donkey Bellerin, yeah. Do you know Donkey Bellerin? With a name like that, I would never trust you coming onto the show. Donkey Bellerin. Like, I think you're some kind of rapist or something. I don't know.
Betty, I've sent the link to you twice now. 3 times.
Yeah, I know, this always happens. This always
takes
happens.
about 2 minutes to get on, man.
Sometimes you've got to be patient.
She can't get blocked.
Yeah,
Come on, Bigger Valley. Make a mark for yourself. Is she here? Is she here?
All right, shut up now. Let her talk.
Oh, let's talk, Tom. Unmute her. She's muted.
No, she's muted herself.
Oh, unmute yourself, Betty. Oh, no.
Hi, everyone. Sorry. I've got it now. Thank you, Mandy. Thank you, everybody.
All right. How you doing?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
You seemed a bit agitated in the other chat.
Right.
I'm saying you seemed a bit agitated in the other chat.
There's a delay.
Oh, is there a delay? Can you hear me?
There's a delay. There's a big delay.
All right, let me
try calling back, Betty.
Let him try calling you back.
1 minute. Let me just.
Okay.
Everyone mute.
All right.
Apart from Betty, everyone mute.
I've got a good question for Betty when she comes back on next week.
Who kicked her out? That's going to look well racist.
No, I asked her to end the call and then call back.
All right, she's back now. Shut up.
Hi, Betty.
Okay. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Betty.
Right, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, it's not really a question. You know, like, I'm just, even though everybody knows that me and Jedi don't get on, I generally, but for me, I don't generally like a lot of how Tan acts. I don't have a problem with Tan wanting to have freedom of speech. I do believe that he should have the right to say what he wants to say because it's Speaker's Corner and it's freedom of speech. But the fact of the matter is, I can't understand how you can be a Malaysian Chinese man. You're having problems in your own country. You can't sort out them problems. And then you're going to fly halfway across the world and claim that you're going to come and sort out black people's problems in Britain and other people's problems. I think if you're going to be a prophet, you first have to start doing your prophet work in your own country. Then you get popular, you bring the good news, and then you start flying over to other countries. But he's not doing that. And I've got to be honest with you, I don't generally believe that he wrote that manifesto. I think his far-right friends helped him write it because he speaks a lot of broken English. I can't understand everything he's saying. So I don't generally believe he even wrote it. And I don't...
But the thing is, the only reason I say he's wrote it, because you know my mum. Hold on. Let me interrupt. Let me interrupt.
No, you don't. Let Becky talk.
All right, talk, Betty. Sorry.
No, it's all right. I've said what I want to say, and you can,
apologize.
We can have a conversation. We can have a conversation.
Look at it, always trying to bully me into not talking. Look at that. Can I talk now, Baba?
Yeah. Raj, let Raj speak. Thank you, Hassan, for being.
Like, I know people. I don't want to say names because I don't get myself in trouble. Some people are watching this and they get me in trouble after that. Whose English is quite bad in terms of spoken English, but they can write very eloquently. I've met people like that because it's their second language, but their English in terms of written language, you wouldn't be able to tell they've got an accent or that it's their second language. So I think writing and speaking can kind of seem different. From people who it's his second language. I've heard what he said, and I've heard him say similar things in person. So I didn't find it out of his realm of possibility that he read.
Okay, if you don't, but for me personally, I just don't believe he read it because I think how could a Malaysian Chinese person know so much about blackness? How many black people do you even have in Malaysia for you to be talking on that level? It just and another thing I've noticed with him, I just don't think he likes people. Do you know what I mean? I think he's got other issues in relation to just, in general. Like, I mean, who has Adolf Hitler as their avatar? You know what I mean? I don't think he's Mr. Social. Like he says, when he said that he's racist, people said he's not racist. If the man says he's a racist, he's a racist. Believe what the man's saying.
Let me explain why, because
right, can I address one point?
Oh no, you can't at the moment.
Please,
let me just
please, come on, because I'm dying to offer you a genuine loving question, please.
All right, talk.
All right.
Go on.
Betty, do you mind me asking you, like, if someone says something that they are something, like for example, I'm a superhero. Like, would that make me a superhero? Like, and admitting to it, the way I see it, I think, and I genuinely say this. Look, like, I've hung around with Tan for a little while now, to understand me, and I'm not joking you. Like, I've seen what racist people look like. I've seen what I was brought up in a time when racism was actually a real thing, and I genuinely, when he speaks to people, he never, ever, ever treats them any different than a mirror image. So if you come on to him with a nice attitude, he gives you a nice attitude back. Do you understand me? If you come on to him with a negative one, he gives a negative one back. And as well as that, have you ever spent time with Tan? Like, like, I could tell you 10 minutes with him on one-on-one, you would soon understand that this kid is the only thing that's really broken in Tan is his ability to use the language correctly. The rest of it, his writing skills are amazing. His reading skills are truly great. Like, he's not an empty kid. He's a really smart child, Betty.
Well, Hassan, I think you might have misunderstood what I said. I don't believe that Tan is racist, to tell the honest truth. But what I said was, I just don't see how he can know so much about blackness if he comes from Malaysia. Yeah. And also with Tan as well, I agree with you. Like, I think he has a problem with people in general. I didn't say that I don't believe that he doesn't treat people how he treats. If he meets someone, he treats them how they treat him. I can understand that. I appreciate that. But that's why I didn't use the word racist. What I'm just saying is I don't think Tan is qualified to talk about blackness, especially when the fact that, one, he's not black, and two, there's not a lot of black people in his country anyway. I think he should stay on his own issues. The issues
So
that
don't you think then, Betty, that maybe he's because he hasn't been around black people a lot, that maybe his education on black people is just through America, which is saturated throughout the whole world.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I was speaking to this. I don't want to name the black person. I don't want to get into trouble. I was speaking to somebody about this on the phone, and I was saying that if you look at Nigerians, if they were the people that were represented on TV worldwide, the perception of people would be different. But unfortunately, the representation of worldwide for black people are American blacks, because that's Hollywood and that's where most of the mainstream media goes through. So if he's in Malaysia and all he's really seeing is these stereotypes of, like when you see an Indian movie, this is why he cuss Indian movies, which is true. Everyone's dancing. There could be a world war, nuclear war, and everyone's someone's dancing in the middle. Yeah? So true.
Indian movies are really big in Africa as well. You know, in Senegal, you'll see, and in Nigeria as well.
I know, but they're garbage. But you know what? When he's saying stuff,
they're not. Sorry,
yeah,
they're not garbage. The fact of the matter is, the Indian Bollywood movies, they do it differently. Because I've watched.
Yeah, but if you listen to what he said, what he said, what he was saying was quite true, but. Although it was said in a kind of a derogatory way, that you have a serious film about, say, a Holocaust, and people are maybe dying, and all of a sudden there's a dancing match in the middle of a freaking Holocaust. It's just ridiculous. When you have a serious film, and it's a bad.
Can I address that? The way television programs and way movies are made, it's they're calculated in accordance to the local population and what type of emotional maturity the main target audience will have. For example, British people are more emotionally mature, so therefore EastEnders or any British film is going to be less upsy-turvy, and Indian audience is emotionally immature. So as a consequence, you have ridiculous things like 17 songs, and you have, well, like you say, a terrible sad scene, and next minute they're dancing with all these 50 different outfits and so on and so forth. And basically it's the emotion and the emotional roller coaster that keeps the audience glued to the movie or to the program. So that's why it is. So when a movie such as Hollywood or Bollywood and whoever, whichever industry, Hollywood and Nollywood, the emotional roller coaster that they're providing is a reflection of what they think the local population is.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that when you heard, hold on, Hassan, you didn't let me. Hold on, I was on a train of thought, man. No, don't worry about Betty. Let me talk. For God's sakes. Let me just say something. You're not letting me.
Hurry up, Raj, because I want to ask Betty something as well.
God, man, it's my show. No, I'm gonna do something. What I was trying to say is that the reason why Tan has this skewed view of the world is probably because he's watching movies from Malaysia, and so when he's seeing Indians, he just thinks Indians are dancing all the time or stupid.
That's not the question.
Oh, hold on. But that's not the question I thought you was gonna answer. Anyway, I'm talking about myself. Then he's seeing Hollywood movies of black people rap and stuff like this. This is probably how he got his perception about black people being silly using that particular word. Yeah, because it is silly when you really think about it.
Yeah, well, that's what I would say. That's why I didn't call Tan a racist. I don't believe that Tan is a racist. I believe that he's ignorant of some of the things that he's saying. So I can agree with you, because many people's perception of what blackness is comes from Black America, because America is a global power.
Yeah.
Sis, can I ask you, Betty, a question? Please don't misunderstand me. In regards to it, from what I'm understanding of what you were saying is that you'd have to be someone that understands what blackness is to be able to diagnose a problem. Is that correct?
What I'm saying is, for him to talk about blackness like he's black, he's not black. And he doesn't live in a country where there are a lot of black people. So his only view that he can come from, he must be getting it from the outside. Like Raj said, he's got to be getting it from America. how did he come to all these conclusions? He doesn't live in a black country. How many black people are even in Malaysia for him to know so much about blackness? You know, like, for example, say you're a white person, you move to Africa. There's a lot of black people there. So you could talk about that because there's a lot around. But Malaysia, how many black people are there for him to have all these conclusions? That's why, for me, I feel like his friends, because I know he's, you know, you got that Lucy, you know, Tommy Robinson's finger. I think that he's been influenced by the far right and other people. I just don't believe.
You do not Lucy is not far right. She ain't very far right though. She's actually more centre.
Well, it's debatable, Raj. Debatable. But I've listened to some of her talks, and you know, with her Tommy Robinson. You know, it's debatable. We'd have to debate that. But for me, I just don't believe someone with this broken English that he has can write all this. Now, I'd have to have a good look at this manifesto from page to page, and I'll have to get back to you on it because I've not read the whole thing.
But Betty,
get back to you on it.
Oh, Raj. Betty, can I ask, you just said a few moments ago that what experience does he have to talk about black issues? I didn't catch all of today's conversation, so forgive me. But what makes you think that he's stating that he knows about black issues, or he's going to, you know, where is that coming from is what I'm trying to ask you.
Because the whole, what I listened to of the manifesto, he just kept on talking about black people, black this, black that. So
no, he was speaking very politically. He wasn't speaking on behalf of black people.
No, but he was talking about what black people, you know, maybe if a black man wears a pink costume, then they won't get targeted.
Did you watch the whole 1 hour speech?
No, I don't know. I couldn't watch the whole speech because I can't understand his English.
No, but this is the problem here. Let me say something. When you just watch that out of context, it seems like he attacked everybody. Turks, he called Chinese chinks, little dick people, I mean, you name it.
Raj, I'm not saying he didn't. I know Tan attacks everybody, but as a black person, I'm talking about what he said about black people. I'm aware that Tan just hates everybody in general. Everybody gets equal mistreatment with Tan, but I'm just because I'm a black person, I'm going to home in on that. Yeah.
That's fine. But one of the things I want people to do is to watch the whole speech, because if I just went in there and just heard the Sikh bit, I'll be like, oh my God, he's attacking Sikhs, and I would be like, all right, why is he doing that? But when you hear the whole thing,
can you send me the transcript? Can you send me the transcript?
Oh,
it's on his website. It's on his website.
Can you send me the link to his website?
Tango.church.
Tango.church.
God.
That's it. Oh, can I just say something?
Send them a link for heaven's sake.
You know, beyond atheism is here. The guy that likes effing his cousin all day. Are you in bed with your cousin now? Can I ask him that question? Yes or no?
Betty, I've got a question for you, if I may. Betty, you still there?
Yeah. I'm just looking. I was just going to Tan's website while you were talking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I was. I managed to come across another show that Callum did yesterday, and towards the end of it, I didn't listen to all the show. He was asking everybody who are the current black role models in society, and it just kind of got me thinking, because for me to have a role model, or for somebody to be my role model, they don't necessarily have to be, you know, British Punjabi or British Indian. And I noticed that a lot of members of the black community seem to, and I could be wrong, seem to want to have a role model who is the same ethnicity as them. I personally find that a bit limiting in the scope of knowledge. If you're only going to have a role model from your own race. How do you feel about that? Do you think I have a fair point?
I think, to tell you the truth, from what I remember what Kalam said, he said, what role models are they for black role models? That it wasn't just, he didn't ask about role models. He said, what current black role models are they? So that's why he honed in on that. But yeah, everybody, if you live in a multicultural society as we live in, of course you can have other role models of different ethnic groups and races. That's not debatable.
Am I Am I allowed to
No,
talk?
no, yeah, I've got to ask a
Oh
question,
my
but
God.
Betty, the reason why I asked, like, the stuff, like, for example, I'll give you the most primest example, and I always
Can I
used to
just
think,
finish what I'm saying, Hassan Hunt,
of course,
please?
Betty, my apologies. Sis.
Okay. And in terms of right now, currently, many Black Britons don't feel British. We don't feel accepted. You know, obviously, you've got the Windrush situation where people were deported, even though they were entitled to stay. So there is a feeling for many Black people that we're not British enough. You know, so and we're not accepted as, you know, like, for example, you can have a white African, but you apparently you can't have a Black British person, you can't have a Black European, you can't have a Black person that's European. So for many Black people, that is why they want a Black person who is a role model that is Black British, and someone who's not Black couldn't fill that void, because right now many of us don't feel accepted as British.
Oh, really? Why not? See, that's something that I don't understand. Then you need to explain that to me, because I've faced a lot of racism from white people, but I still refuse to not feel British. Especially moving down to London, I feel more British than ever, because I'm from Yorkshire, and Yorkshire when I was growing up was
You're a
very
northerner.
racist. So, yeah, I
Shout
am
out to the
Northern.
north.
So explain that to me. This is why I don't really understand the likes of Jedi and them lot, because to me they're very anti-British, and it's almost as if they haven't got the comprehension to distinguish between the crimes of the state and what the British people are, because the establishment do not represent the British people.
I think, because for me, I class myself as a Black British person, but I also class myself as an African. I believe that I'm both. Because both of those places contributed to me. But for other people, they don't, because I think for many Black men, because they're getting stopped by the police, employment is very high for, I think Black men are the people that are most likely to be unemployed in this country. So I think a Black British man's experience is different from a Black woman's experience. But also, I'm no disrespect to Jedi, but man is a convicted criminal. He was also institutionalized. He was in foster care. He grew up in foster care because tragically his mother was killed. So he came from a broken home. So he did not have the support from the Nigerian community that he needed, because I think he said the mum was killed at 15 or something like that. And also we know that children that grow up in foster care, it is shit. For the life chances for those people, they end up in prison. There's a long list of things that have happened to Jedi that has shaped his opinion in life.
Sure.
So I think that's where it's coming from. And for many, it's very similar for other people that are Black.
So here's another angle. If I can ask you another question. So you said that Black children get stopped and Black men get stopped by the police. That is a fact. There's no denying that.
Yeah, it's mainly Black men. It's black boys that mainly get stopped. I've never been stopped by the police.
Okay, Black boys.
Driving.
But is that because they're more likely to carry weaponry or narcotics or something along those lines, or is for example, like where I live, it's very middle class. You don't see a police officer. I can't remember seeing a police officer around here for a long time. So the crime is very low. So do they deploy police officers in areas where they're expecting, or there is a trace of weaponry and drugs and so on and so forth? So my point is, are they stopped because the likelihood of them being or carrying something wrong is high?
I think one of the things that you have to remember, most of the Black people in Britain are working class. 50% of the Black population lives in London. Yeah, there's a high concentrated Black people in London.
Okay.
We know the cost of living is very high in London as well. So in terms of Black, when you start looking at statistics, many Black people are overrepresented in the prison system. But the majority of men in prison are actually white men. But the problem is the police are institutionally racist. You have the former commissioner saying this, Bernard Hogan Howe. He said it's institutionally racist. Yeah. So they do target Black men and Black boys. Yeah. I don't think they're more likely to carry weapons or do drugs. The fact of the matter is, what Black people do in terms of drugs is, white people like to do cocaine. They do those type of drugs. Black people are more likely to do marijuana and stuff like that. But the police will target black people more. As Raspect has said, you know, if his white brethren carries the drugs, the police are less likely to stop him. If a black man carries the drugs, they're going to stop him. And when they get convicted, I've got a friend that's a barrister. She's a Nigerian, obviously a British Nigerian like me. And she's even said that if you are black, you are going to get a longer sentence for the same crime as a white person. Yeah?
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
So there's things like that.
Why are they going to get a longer sentence than a white person?
Because it is institutionally racist. That's what they're saying.
Can I
institutionally racist.
No, it's designed like that.
Right.
Right. Let me just
what I would say to you is there's a paper by a doctor, not a doctor, a professor called Patrick Williamson. He's a black professor from Manchester University. He's a criminologist. It's called Dangerous Associations. And it talks about Manchester having a gang database and how ethnic minorities, not just black people, Asian people, who are listed on this gang database, even though they're not the ones committing the most serious crimes. So if you want to know more about that, I would definitely say have a look at that paper.
Who's it by? Dangerous Association is by?
Patrick Williamson.
Williamson?
Yeah.
Yeah, let Raj talk. It's going to explode now.
Thank you, Betty. That was very informative.
Okay, hold. I'll try and find you a link for it as well. Just put Dangerous Associations, Patrick Williamson.
I'll find it.
Criminologist. Okay.
Yes.
I felt. Can I talk?
Yes.
I felt like a non-Muslim under Sharia, so now I feel I couldn't even say a single word. All right, I don't even know what I'm going to say now. All right, Black African. Do you know African Pharaoh, Betty? Pharaoh?
No. I chat to the person in the chat, but I don't know the person.
Oh, but have they been relatively cold, or are they rude, or what? Because I can't remember.
No, they're fine. They've not been rude to me. I've not noticed them being rude.
Shall we just let one? Shall we let African Pharaoh? And that's it. He's a black guy. I think I'm assuming.
Yeah, of course.
I don't want to let. I don't. But does anybody know him?
Yeah. He's been a regular on mine commenting, but I've never heard him speak. So let him on.
That's what you said in the last conversation. Look how that ended.
No, but then we could just chuck him off. We could chuck him off.
Yeah, but once they have the link, they have the link. Go on, Hassan. What are you saying?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, you know, going back to that initial talk that we were having in regards to, oh God, I forgot my trailer thought now. Thanks, right?
I didn't even finish what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Let Betty back on there because she was talking sense.
No, I was going to ask a question to Betty, but no one's letting me talk. I'm too scared to talk now. I feel like I'm going to get my head chopped.
Come on, Raj. Come on. You got that gun. You shouldn't be afraid to talk. Look, I'm sure that's a gun in the picture.
I know, but what it is, I'm trying to change my behavior and not be such a narcissist.
It's a musket.
And just be an arsehole. Now, can I just say something about that gun? That gun is a 150-year-old shotgun from the last Maharaja of Punjab's. It was his son's. So I'm very honored to hold it. It's a very old shotgun. I was going to ask you about, do you know one of the things I had a problem with Tan's speech wasn't necessarily about what he said. I thought that him saying the N-word so much took away from the message, because the beginning message was, if you took all the N-words out and just listen to what he was saying, he didn't say that black people are low IQ. He said that if you use that word, between yourselves, so if you called another black man that, people from outside might see them as that. You understand the difference?
Yeah. I see.
Because two black people, because you can't take that word back, in my opinion, because the word has such a history that just changing a word from ER to A to someone from the outside who's Chinese. Can you imagine what Han must think when he's watching a video, because he doesn't understand the nuances in language? He can't tell the difference between an ER and an A. All he can hear is him saying N. Yeah. So can you not see? So I would like you to re-listen to that beginning bit, because what he was truly trying to say was that if you want people to not think you're silly, then why are you using that word to describe each other?
I'd have to listen, because I don't find his delivery very good, and the shouting puts me off. Do you know what I
Yeah, well,
mean? So
yes,
I'd have to look
I
at
think
the transcript of the speech.
but was you in the beginning when Sarah read it out with his more articulate manner?
I heard a bit of it, but I didn't hear
I
all
think
of
what you
it.
need to do is go back to Titans TV. Ahmed Bank, shut your mouth. Uh, um, so go back to Titans TV and listen to Sarah saying exactly what Tan said, and it sounded very different.
The whole
On
speech,
No, not the whole speech, just
just a
about
bit of
black
it.
people, because
Oh,
he's
the
read the
IQ
whole
bit.
he's read the whole thing, and when you hear him saying it, at no point does it say black people have low IQs. What he said was that people will think you have it. So he's saying people will think you have a low IQ if you keep on using that word. So stop using it.
This is another thing that is debatable. I don't like to hear that. I don't like to. I'm not really. The only reason why people use the word nigger in Britain now is because it's so much in rap music, the black rap music that came.
Yeah.
There was a time
Yeah.
when I was a kid, no one used to call anybody nigger, nigger this, nigger that. It was an American thing, yeah. But because obviously American black music is pumped so heavily here, that's why people are using it now. But I know, like, if I go to my Nigerian family, I couldn't use that word and say that, people would look down on me if I spoke
That's
to,
what I'm
like,
trying to. Sorry, that's what I'm trying to say to you. So hold on a second. That's why. Hold on. That's why I'm saying to you that. Just one minute after this. Hold on. Hold on. That's why, yeah. That's why I said to you that if people were seeing Nigerian culture, say from movies from Nigeria worldwide, their perception of what black people are would be different. But because all Tan gets here is if someone in Malaysia growing up, all he's getting is American movies, and all American movies do that would probably transfer over to Malaysia. They're not going to have a nuanced view of it. They're just going to get the most aggressive stuff, the hip hop and stuff like that. So that's all he's been brought up on. So
that's what I mean. That's what I mean by him talking about blackness. He's not qualified to say it because he doesn't. All the blacknesses that he's talking about is Black America, and Black America is not the only black culture around.
But let me say something quite controversial.
No, Raj, shut up.
I swear to God, this is the last thing I'm going to say. It's the last thing. I need to say it because we're on the train of thought.
No, Raj, shut up.
Train of thought, yeah. No, this is on the train of thought. Dude, no, this is just because we can't go to another question because I need to say something that you just said. What I'm saying is that unfortunately, yeah, things in the world are not, let's just say, not always for the best. Unfortunately, American black culture is unfortunately what most people associate if they've never been around a black person. That's what they think.
Yeah, I know, Raj.
I know it's not true because I grew up with black people. I know they're not like that. But that's what somebody else in Malaysia would think. Someone in India would think. Someone in.
Manny, mute him, man.
Raj, you've got to let everybody have their equal time when talking, please.
Yeah,
Hassan, were you going to say something?
Yes, please. The last thing before I forget again. Yeah, now going back to that problems in diagnosing other people's society, Betty. Now, I don't wish to sound horrible, but we had a leader in our country that came in. He was a plant, a shill, and to be honest, even then, people suspected that to be the case. But what that guy did for our country was leaps and bounds, and only because he saw it as a necessity for change to be imposed by being really radical. Now, I'm not going to mention the name because there's going to be a load of people that hate this kind of guy, but it was it's a necessary evil just to point out, like, that it gets me, sis. I come from a part of a country where I've shared with my brothers, I've broke bread with my brothers, I've gone through the trenches with my brothers in regards to that, but there's just that one word that I hear amongst my brothers, and yes, that does not give me the right or the excuse or the privilege to use that word, but it just seems bizarre that it just comes down to words that seem to make a massive wave in the ocean when really it's something that just needs to be addressed. It's like me going fire, fire, fire. There's a fucking fire behind you, and someone saying, you know what, I got burnt 40 years ago, So every time I hear the word fire, it makes my skin crawl. Yeah, it's going to make your skin crawl, but it's going to be a case of, look, just address it, because this problem's only just going to self-manifest more and more and more. And this is what I think Tan's about, that he just wants to just get this problem sorted. Like
But
this
you know,
race.
but what help can he really offer in terms of the debate about whether black people should call other black people nigger? There's a debate already. You know, it's like I said, Black America does not speak for all black people in the earth. You know what I mean? There
True.
is already a debate about that word. There are many black people that if you said that word to them, they're going to have a huge problem with you. They wouldn't even dream of using that type of word. It is Black America that is using that word, and it's because America is a global power. What America does influences many people.
True.
But America is shifting. They're losing power. China is rising. So you will see that shift. They're not going to be able to pump out music and use soft propaganda to change people culturally. They're losing power. So if Tan is worried about black people calling each other nigger, he shouldn't have to worry because China's rising anyway. Do you know what I mean?
That's very true, because China now effectively owns Hollywood anyway, with all the investment they're doing, and that's why more and more Hollywood movies have a prominent Chinese figurehead, you know, placed in it, because that's the Chinese influence. So, Betty, do you know? So obviously, I'm fairly middle class, and you know, I spent majority of my childhood, you know, living in middle class areas. But I did, during different 2 points of my education, have you know, best friends that were black lads, and one of them was very, shall we say, ghettoized, and he used to call me the N-word, but I always regarded it as the N-word with an A, not with an ER.
Yeah.
But you know, that to me, like when I hear that word, and initially when I heard Tan say it, it kind of reminded me of my friend Markite from Leeds, and I was like, you know, it was like a brotherly thing, because he used to talk, you know, he was like a big brother to me, like, you know, torturous friendship and stuff, like, you know, big brother and younger brother. So isn't that generally how it's regarded in the black community, or is it a case of when a non-black person says it, then it's ultimately a racist thing?
I think all black people don't think alike. So some black people are not going to think what he said was racist. Some black people will, you know. We're not homogenous. Blackness is not homogenous. I don't personally believe that Tan is racist. I think he's ignorant of the words that he's using and the meaning of what he's using and the effect of what he's saying.
So what about the fact that he admits that he is racist, but he says he's racist to everybody? So are you saying that the fact that he is racist against everyone, therefore, if it was a mathematical calculation, it's a case of he can't be racist if he hates everyone equally?
Yes, yeah, very much so. Because what I noticed in Tan, he seems to have a problem with absolutely everybody. Did he start cussing Chinese people, his own people as well?
Yes,
In that speech?
yes.
Okay, so he's just got a problem with everybody.
And what's crazy was that I asked him about what systems and what have you, I overheard him, and he said democracy is a terrible system and a dictatorship is the right system, but you have to awaken the right dictator.
He's very far out. One of the things that annoys me about Tan is his delivery is poor, so you can't hear his message because he shouts so much. People can only listen to so much, and I know obviously because there are a lot of hostile Muslims in that part that go around and chase around him, yeah, and you know, kick him and spit at him and stuff. So, like Raj said, you might feel like you have to be like that, but because people are watching, you can't hear his message properly because his delivery is not great with all this shouting.
Yeah, but I think that kind of works for him. You know, his tone, his language skills. I think that kind of makes people listen to him.
It might because of what he said. You know, like you said, it's how you say. Like I think Jedi said this. It's how you say the word nigger, and the context and stuff like that. So if he's shouting these words and stuff like that, people are gonna assume that he means hostility to black people. Yeah. You know, there's a way you can say, "Oh, my nigger," You know what I mean? You know, like playfully. But because he's putting, you know, shouting, then you're gonna get a different feeling from it. So I think he should check his delivery as well. And I just think I like Raj said, he used the word well too much for me. I just don't think I don't think he's qualified to talk about black people's issues and offer any help. Because I don't see him growing up in a black environment for him to know so much about blackness, except what he's seen on TV about black Americans.
But he was generalizing. He wasn't saying anything that would, you know, that we could award him with, you know, to say that he's been brought up or he lived with black people. He was generalizing generally and comparing the black community with a better way of doing things.
But that's just your point of view, because the fact of the matter, there are people that generally think that he's a racist, and he said himself he's a racist. Whether or not we believe what he says about him being racist, because he's used those words, there are going to be black people now that are going to have a huge problem with him, because you can see it in the comment section. And it's not just black people, is it? You've got that Pakistani guy, that, you know, Sheer guy, really complaining on Titans TV. He's more upset with Tan about using that word nigger than I am, and I'm the one that's black.
But
is he Muslim now?
Yeah, he's Muslim. The Sheer guy.
Yeah,
Raza.
he just wants his voice to be heard. I've noticed one thing about Saracen. All he wants to do is just propagate his religion, and that's basically it. The rest he does not care about. He really don't. Like, for example, if you were to ask Saracen, does he really give a shit about the black race issues? I can guarantee you, he will pretend that he's going to say something, but his actions don't exactly support it. For example, when Uncle Omar was in the park, like, I refuse to deal with people. If I don't like the person, I just don't deal with them. But yet he'll go up there and media whore himself out in front of him, knowing that he doesn't like this guy. Now, how does someone do that if he's not so complacent and so just relaxed about it and so blasé about racism that he could do something like that? How?
It wasn't Saracen I was talking about. You know, the other Pakistani guy. There's a Pakistani guy called, is it Raz? The Sheer guy?
Raza.
Yeah, Raza is the same, sister. Him as well. Raza is exactly the same as Saracen. They're two peas in a pod, if you like.
Am I allowed to talk now? Am I allowed to talk?
Mate, go on.
You know, everyone's feeling sorry for me, and can everyone give me a thumbs up to let me talk, because they're putting Sharia on me, and I'm not allowed to talk anymore, for God's sakes. All right, let me say something. When it comes to Raza, Saracen, and all those Shia Blade Runners, I had a conversation with them on the day on COE. Big up to JK for mentioning that, I forgot. And one of the things is that I like those lot. I get on with them, but I'm telling you something now, Betty. They don't care about the black issue. They're using this as a way to get to Tan, and they've realized that they can't go through the route of Islam, because that kind of puts, obviously everyone hates Islam. I'm only joking, but obviously people can't empathize that much. And so what they're doing now is they're galvanizing other people to say, all right, but they don't truly care.
Well, I think Raz, I don't understand why he was so passionate about it. I thought he was using it. I do agree with you on Raz. I don't know about Saracen, but Raz, I think the way he was going on about the nigger word was ridiculous, because he's not even black. I thought it was too much. I think he is trying to get to Tan. You know, I do think...
when you speak to them, and you remember, I get on with these guys. Ultimately, what they're doing is they're using the what is it called, the black issue as a conduit to get to the Islam, about the main issue about Islam. So the Quran. So they know that they can't. They can't.
Sorry.
Don't let. You're talking over me.
No, sorry. Carry on.
I'm joking. Yeah, but the thing is that so they're using that as a way, as getting towards Tan, and it's a clever strategy. I'm not going to say it's a wrong strategy or a right strategy, but this is the strategy they're now using. They're not going to say Tan is an Islamophobe. They're going to say he's racist.
I agree with Raj 100%. I think that's exactly what that chap is doing, because he doesn't. Yeah, that could be a fact. That's
game of chess, isn't it? Raz is playing a game of chess. Because I can't understand why he was so. He was too passionate about it, though. So, like you said, he's trying to knock out the competition.
I've got a question here from African Pharaoh. Does everyone not think that Tan wants an asylum seekers something because he knows that if he causes madness in the UK, they won't deport him to Malaysia?
I think he wants to stay. Well, I'm too scared to talk anymore.
Go on, Raj. Go on.
This ain't gonna happen. The only reason I'm being capitulating is tired. Wait till tomorrow when I get back on. I'm gonna freaking. I said freaking, not the effing. I want to get back to control.
So, do you want to answer the question?
The thing is that I believe that obviously Tan does want to. He does want to stay in the UK. Whether that was his plan, I can't really say because it's such a huge kind of orchestrated plan to stay in the UK. I don't think he was thinking like that, but maybe he's going to now use it. Maybe he's going to use it and as a way to stay because he is in danger now. There's no way he can go back to Malaysia. He'll probably be hung from or stoned to death. What do they do in Malaysia now to blasphemers? Do they chuck them off a building like gays, or do they stone them like adulterers? What do they do? Can someone write that in there? What kind of lovely punishment will God give Tan for blasphemy?
I came across an article yesterday that 2 lesbian women there tried to have sex, but they were caught, so they were taken to the courtyard and whipped with a cane.
All right. Sounds like a porn movie. I'm only joking. Only joking. That's really bad. Terrible.
But what about that black cat? I know this is going off the subject, but what about that black cat guy?
Let's get on to this. That he's in the house now. Let's talk about this. Let's go all on the black cat now. All right.
What do you think of black cat guy? Shut up, Raj. Shut up, man. What do you think about black cat? Black cat?
I can say that the time when I went to Speaker's Corner and I met Black Hat Guy, he was very polite, very courteous black man. But I had no idea that he was advertising interracial porn that it subjugates white women. If I would have known that, I would have told him to take that hat off and then we can have a serious conversation. But the fact that I'm glad that Raj actually pointed it out because it's disgusting. It's too much. Why? How can you go and advertise that type of thing in the park? And it's just.
And then, sorry, sis. And then talk about being pious and humble.
You know, I'm so ready to rant, man. Oh my God, are you gonna let me rant for 5 minutes?
Yeah, go on.
Can I rant?
Yeah.
Can I rant against Rajiv? All right, let me just say, Rajiv, if you're listening, you annoy me at a Richter scale of 1 billion. You're not even on that stage. Yeah, I can't even give you the Richter scale anymore. The reason you annoy me, you are the biggest hypocrite I've met. You cannot say you're for black people and that you're complaining about American cinema, Hollywood, saying that they demonize black people by making them hypersexual, but you then promote a black porn site which makes black men look hypersexual. Yeah, you cannot do that because you're actually what I call destroying your own people by negative stereotypes. And so when you obviously had to research that place, yeah, obviously I had to research it, and I was very disgusted. And well, I was about to say something very dodgy, but so let me just say something. So what that promotes is that if you're pro-black, I'm going to say this is going to sound very controversial. I'm not talking about interracial relationships. I'm saying if you are pro-black, then the way you bring your community up is to marry another black person or somebody from the same race, and you get wealth within your own community, within your own family, and you give it to your kids, and you build up your community from within. Now, obviously, Black Hat Guy has a white girlfriend. Now, I want to ask Black Guy, when he goes around his in-laws' house, like his girlfriend's house, does he wear that black hat to humiliate his father-in-law? Because it seems like he wears the black hat in a way, and that big giant dildo that he walks about with all the time, in order to insult white people. Now, I've seen him from a distance talking to white women, and he looks like he's frothing at the mouth. Yeah, literally frothing at the mouth. Yeah,
you know what the worst thing? But Raj, you know the worst thing is? He's such a polite black man. Very
doesn't
polite.
Matter.
Yeah.
Do you know what the word? Do you know what self-esteem
I know, but Raj, but honestly, he's very polite.
Doesn't
but
matter.
Raj, he's making black men look foolish. He makes black men look like some toy thing. You know, like
So
something to just play with.
All right. So what I'm saying is, when you see him talking to white women, he's frothing at the mouth. It looks like he's about to, like, you know, suddenly do some kind of somersault in the air to get them. And the thing is, yeah, what he doesn't understand here is, like, when you have him talking to a white woman and he's got that black hat on, he is insulting that white woman. You're also insulting men. And you're also insulting your black women, because you are promoting, and he's always talking about interracial relationships. Shut up about your interracial relationships. Who cares about that bullshit? All you have to do is to create wealth within your community and build your community up, is to marry within. Asian people know this. The way we do it here, the Asian people, is like, hold on, we're not marrying no one out of the Sikh community in the Sikh community. We keep it within ourselves. We have Sikh kids, and then we give the wealth to the Sikh kids.
But he's not pro-black, Raj. This idea that you can be pro-black and sleep white, that's not pro-black. That's pro-humanity. If you're black and you're sleeping with someone that's not black, you are pro-humanity. You believe that you can go over the colour thing.
But there's nothing.
That Rajiv is not pro-black.
Yeah. But let me say something. But the thing is, he's promoting himself as pro-black, and he's saying that he wants to better the black people. And he's making big claims about Hollywood. Who gives a shit about Hollywood, you idiot? You don't need to worry about whether black people have been in Hollywood forever. He said something about there's not been no interracial relationship since only started 2010. You're crazy, you lunatic.
Right.
Let me do my rant. There's this film from the 60s, yeah, that showed that interracial. Who cares about interracial relations? What you need to do, Mr. Black Cat Guy, is to marry a black woman. I know you're not strong enough to do it. Maybe marry Betty. Maybe she can pussy whip you into line, and then have some black children. And when you get wealth and your jobs and stuff, you give that wealth to your children. That's how you build your community. Not by going with white women wearing black hat guys, walking around with a giant dildo doing somersaults in the corner. This is not how you build your community. Now, I'm going to go on to one of the most diabolical things that black hat guy's done. And it's not about black porn. It's about his justification for the Arab slave trade. If you can justify slavery, you are an abhorrent person. Slavery, like pedophilia or killing someone, is abhorrent. There is no good or better. They're all as bad as each other, and you should never be propagating it. Now, obviously, you would have been that guy. Now, the black hat guy, you would have been one of those guys that probably would have sold your own people to the Arab slaves. So obviously, you probably think it's okay. So if you want to come on later, you can come on. But obviously, Tan's give you the roast. Hold on 1 minute. Tan's going to give you the roasting of your life anyway. I'm just giving you a little bit of a burner up your backside at the moment, just so you can get used to it.
But, you know, can we just get back to this Raj thing, Rajiv, in terms of, because I've checked out his channel, and I'm not being funny. I don't like, his channel seems like he fetishizes white women. Yeah, you know,
obviously.
And it's just like, I don't like that type of freaky deaky shit. He might be into that 50 Shades of Grey shit, because, you know, like, because I'm thinking, if you've got a white woman that allows you to wear that hat, she might be that type of white woman that likes that 50 Shades of Grey shit. You know what I mean? I don't know what they've got in their bedroom. I hate to go into man's bedroom.
I'm going to ask you a question, Betty. I'm going to ask you a question here. Let me ask you a question. Would you let a white, say if he was going out with a white man, and he then, remember, I'm going to say something to the people in the chat. Black hat guy didn't buy that hat. He had it specially made. Think about that. He went somewhere and said, I want this on there. So he didn't buy it. There's no such hat as black.
Can I say something?
So,
Can I say something?
No. Hold on 1 second, Manny. Betty, would you hold on 1 second? I'm asking one question.
I'm about to mute you, Raj.
I know. I need to ask her one question. Just one question.
Just mute him.
I'll ask you in a minute. Go on, man. Go on.
I was just about to say that if we ignore the fact that it's got blacked on the cap, it could easily say pervert. It could easily say indirect racism. I mean, would you let your daughter go up and speak to somebody with pervert written on the hat? Would you, as a father? I don't think I could.
Or dominate her.
No, it's sick though. I'm just amazed that, you know, he's letting himself down. That's it. If Rajiv is listening in, you're letting yourself down. You're making a mockery out of black people, and you're making a mockery out of white women. you know, you talk. I've heard you talk feminism. I've heard you talk women's rights, and then you wearing that hat. You know what I mean? I'm not being funny. You better be careful because there's some racist white people. There are white people that if people knew what that had signified, I'm surprised someone hasn't tried to knock the hat off a man's head, to tell you the honest truth.
Because it is that vital.
Can I ask this, Manny, please?
Sorry?
And as well, for someone that talks about feminism and then blames the victims of rape to the victims and not to the perpetrators, well, that's what you call a really weak ass feminist. Like a really.
Oh my God, Hassan, you reminded me of something.
Thank you.
You know, we need to do a whole new show on this. I'm going to give it. You know, Adnan Rashid. Adnan Rashid has gone right in the gutter. He definitely is Pakistani now. There's no doubt about that. Now he's written a tweet here saying that, you know, these girls were being raped in the forest in Nottingham. He said it's as much as the family, the parents' fault as the abusers. Think about that.
Yeah, well.
To the rapists, he said it's as much as the parents' fault. They're equally to blame. All right, so we're going to talk about that in another show because I need to roast Pakistan at the same time in my shows, so I'm keeping that. But with Betty, the thing is, look, when it comes to this year, all right, fair enough. Yeah, with the black cat, that's just the kind of like the icing on the cake of what's wrong with Rajiv. Yeah.
What's his problem with you, though? Why is he so on your neck?
Because the thing is, I saw through his sophistry straight away, and I saw he was just a somersaulting black kite, giant dildo holding idiot. Yeah. I mean, you can't go speaker's corner doing somersaults. What do you think people around the world would think of you if I was in speaker's corner as a Sikh, somersaulting everywhere? Everyone would think Sikhs are morons. Yeah. So he needs to start realizing that you can't go speaker's corner with frog shoes on.
You got to put a gate
in front of Raj
if you want to see funny. Just put a gate in front of Raj.
Yeah, put a gate. That's how you can stop me. So the thing is, what I'm saying is that like I was going to ask you a question here, Betty. If you was going at a white man, I know the white devils would never get near you anyway. But if you was going at white devils in the thingy, keep away from Betty. So you know, if you was going at a white man, God forbid, and then he was wearing a hat saying whited, would you find that acceptable? I mean, and you knew what it was.
Come on, Raj, you can't. This fetishizing of interracial relationship, nah, it's not on, because it's not a relationship's not a fetish. You know what I mean? It's this fetishes can be really harmful. And stereotypes and stuff like that.
Why do you think a white woman? Because I can't imagine any black woman letting a white guy do that. But for some reason, a white woman is letting. Is this why?
She's into 50 Shades of Grey. She's going to be one of those white women that likes that stuff.
No, but this can be a very controversial question. Do you think the reason why it's black men like Rajiv who are very, let's say, emasculated, or not strong enough? Do you think the reason why they like white women is because they allow them to do stuff like that? So, I mean, that is really disrespectful. But a black woman won't put up with that bullshit.
Like what?
You mean in terms of being easy? That idea that white women are easy.
No.
Yeah, in terms of they can control them easier. That they will put up with bullshit like wearing a hat like that.
Yeah,
I don't think any black woman would let her know.
I think in terms of that, you know, because you know that's that stereotype for many black men see white women as easier, white British women as easier. You know, culturally.
Easy, do you mean easy in terms of manipulating or easy in terms of sexually?
Both.
Which one?
Because there's a type of white woman who just wants a black man, a big black man. She wants a mixed baby. You know what I mean? She fetishizes him. You know, and that's black man fetishizes her. Yeah. So they're both fetishizing each other. But for many black people, they see white girls as easier. The same way Asian guys, you know, what they say, you know, culture, if we talk about culture in terms of conservative Pakistani, Indian, you know, culture, they see white girls as easier. Because in their homelands...
Can I just say, don't ever put us in the same bracket as Pakistanis, please.
Oh, sorry. I didn't need to get involved in the Pakistani-Indian beef. I'm trying to stay out of that. But you know what I mean? Culturally, in Africa and Asia, our societies are more conservative. We haven't had the sexual revolution compared to Britain and the West. So when many of our people have come here and seen how white British people have carried on, they see them as easy. They see white girls as easy. Because contraception's everywhere. You can pop contraception like sweets. In places in Africa and Asia, you can't get contraception just like that. So they see white girls as easy. So I think that's what's going on in, like you said, in Rajiv's head. But he's a very complicated man. I'd have to talk to the man first, but you got to take that hat off.
Betty, he's not complicated. All you need to know, he carries a giant dildo, he wears a black hat, and he somersaults. That's all Rajiv is.
I know, but you know, because, you know, I'm the type of person that I don't like to judge people too much, because I've spoken to him personally myself. Because I said to him, when I come to the park, me and you got to talk about that hat. And you know, he said he's going to put his case forward. So I want to hear what he's got to say about this hat of his.
Shall I organise
like to give people a right
Can I record that? Can I record that?
Yeah, sure. I like to give him the right of reply.
Shall I organise a debate between Raj and Rajiv?
It's going to be an insult debate.
It won't, man. It won't. I can be civilized. As long as he doesn't bring out that giant dildo that he carries around. I'll be alright. I'm not having that.
Or start somersaulting.
Yeah, somersaulting. No, alright, so let's leave Rajiv. He's had a roasting. He's going to get a roasting from Tan as well. But, you know, the thing about Rajiv here, we've got there are certain things we can have in common, but he's just too annoying to talk to. So I can't even, when you see someone, as soon as I see him, I feel like committing suicide or something. He drives me that mad. I can't, so I'm not trivializing suicide, but as soon as I see him, I just cannot talk to the man. I've tried. So he might have some valid points, but a bit like Tan, you can't hear his valid points because of all the somersaulting, the giant dildo, that freaking big hat. You can't see anything. That's all I see when I see him. I can't see anything else. So yeah, take those things out. If you took all of those things out and those frog shoes and stop somersaulting and stuff, I would probably be able to talk to him. But he needs to get rid of all that stuff that he's wearing that's distracting him.
Have you finished, Raj?
Yeah, I finished. There you go. Yeah, I have.
So Betty, are you volunteering to speak to him this coming Sunday?
No, I'm going to come on the 16th. I'm not going to be there this Sunday, but I'm going to come on the 16th to Speaker's Corner. So hopefully, I would like to give him the right of reply. I don't like to judge people without giving them the right of reply or the right to explain their point of view. But from what I've seen of him, I don't like it as a woman. I'm not a white woman, but I find it offensive to wear that.
But he's already given a reply, though, Betty. Do you want to know what the reply is?
What was it?
Basically, he says that women, this is kind of like women's right. Women should be allowed to do porn, and that he's trying to promote interracial relationships.
Yeah, that's what.
Through the hat.
But that hat, in terms of women doing porn, it's not the porn. White women, I'm not going to stop white women from doing porn or any woman from doing porn. That is not my problem. The problem is that it subjugates white women. It's black men subjugating white women.
No, but I think it's worse than that, in the sense that it's worse than that because he said something very specific in one of his videos. He said in Hollywood they make the black males to be a hypersexual black person, but that particular site is the definition of hypersexual black men.
Yeah,
so
of course.
He's promoting something that he knows is damaging towards his own community. I mean,
but Raj, he doesn't know it's damaging. You have to understand that because I had this beef with, the guy that's going to remain nameless. They are black men that enjoy this idea that they are the King Kong in bed. They like that, and they like this scary black man image that people are scared of them. That is what they like. If Rajiv would not be promoting that if he did not like that image of hypersexual black men, he wouldn't promote if he didn't like it.
So what I'm saying,
if there was a hat for an Asian version, what would it be? Browned?
I don't know.
Curried. Or chapatied. Or I'm an Indian. Let's just call it I'm an Indian. That would be the thing. No, I'm an Indian. It'll be little. I'm an Indian. He was at the carnival. That little prick.
He was
Can you
very
believe that? Can
polite
you
to
believe that,
me.
Betty?
I
No,
saw,
but
I
that
met
little
him.
Indian.
Yeah, I saw him. I saw
No,
him.
but-
I met him at Speaker's
Yeah,
Corner.
but he was at. Think about him at carnival. That little Indian. What was he doing there? Like, was he like doing Bhangra? Was he doing like Bollywood dancing? What was he doing there?
But you know, they all grow up together, so carnival is always going to be multicultural now, isn't it?
No, but I'm not talking about multicultural. He's the definition of everything that's wrong with the Indian, and he was at a carnival. So what was he doing there? I don't understand. It's like an alien going to, like, you know, suddenly popping up in Oxford Circus. What was he doing in thing? When you see watch the video back on COE,
Yeah.
it's like he was caught, like, I don't know, like raping someone or something. I mean, he was like in the middle of like a carnival, just suddenly being found there. It's like, it's very weird. It's not natural to see I'm an Indian at a carnival.
Where did he get that title? I'm Indian, because I don't know the story between you and him.
So what happened? I went to a Tommy Robinson event, yeah, and when I come back, I was surrounded by millions of Indians who were crying and bitching and whining, going, "I'm ashamed of you, lad. I'm ashamed of you." And then I'm an Indian fancied this girl, this little Indian girl who was trying to roast me, and I roasted her. And he was in the back going, "I'm an Indian. I'm an Indian. I'm ashamed of you." So that's how it came about, because he's in the back and going, "I'm an Indian. I'm ashamed of you." So it was a real shame. Like, he was trying to chat up a girl, a little Indian girl. She hated him though. All she saw him as was a little Indian, and she just like walked away from him. He embarrassed himself forever on that video. So yeah, that's how it come about. But all I'm saying, no more Indians like that at freaking carnival. I'm going next year. Do you know why? Because I've got to see what's going on down there. That I'm an Indian could walk around without getting beaten up. How did that happen?
I don't think he's actually said anything offensive to black people. Is he even on the videos? Does he have a channel?
No, you don't understand. You don't understand. He was going around daggering people, ballooning or whatever that's called. I don't know, a big belly said. He was going mad down there. He can't even walk out.
Betty, sorry. I'm going to just be really quick. Do you know I'm an Indian? When he goes down there, do you know his whole purpose is just to chat up women down there? If you see how he operates down there, he's a slick little sod, you know. I'm not joking. He goes on like as if he's like that, but as soon as there's a group of girls, mate, straight away.
He's looking for life.
Yeah, can I say something to everybody? Because everyone's going to say I'm picking on I'm an Indian. Yeah? He's a grade A dwelling prick. Yeah. And the reason why, yeah, every time I'm in a conversation, he's in the back going, "Hey, he's a racist. He's a racist. He's a racist," in the background. Doesn't matter where it is, yeah. Like a little rat. Doesn't matter where it is. He will be in the background. You can hear his voice. Every single video I'm in, he's saying, "I'm an Indian. I'm an Indian. I'm an Indian," in the back. So I don't want anyone feeling sorry for that little gutter dwelling prick, because he can't be going. I'm telling you something now. He's not going carnival, and I'm not. We're going carnival next year, Hassan. I'm not letting that little Indian go carnival, and I never went. And he's daggering everyone. It's crazy. I'm gonna film him actually when I go down there. Let's go carnival next year, everyone.
Yeah, definitely.
What about the carnival is the mud, man. It's like, where do they get the water from? It's like, there's no water in the barrel, but there's always mud in there. It's like what they do.
Nottingham Carnival.
Yeah, it's the mud. You know when they mark you up.
I've never been there. I've only time I've seen carnival now.
That is what happens, Betty. I'm not talking rubbish there. You know when the mud like put the clay on you? Is it clay? Like behind the steel bands?
I've never been to Nottingham Carnival.
What?
No,
we need to. Oh my! How shameful!
I think it should be banned.
Yeah, he should be banned, man. He's bringing down the whole culture of carnival.
No, the Notting Hill Carnival should be banned.
Oh no, I thought you meant I'm an Indian. I thought you meant I'm an Indian.
Why, man?
How can you have a carnival?
It's a disgrace that carnival. People get arrested. People get hurt. There's shootings and stabbings. There's, vandalizing. What's the point if people can't enjoy themselves nicely?
But hold on, Manny. Yeah, this proof of like Notting Hill Carnival being violent is disproof. If I'm an Indian can walk around safely in the middle of the night, yeah, when he's got no sense about him, and still walk out and not be harmed, Notting Hill Carnival can't be that dangerous. True, Hassan.
But you're missing the point. Look at him. He's not even worth robbing. If you were a thief or a burglar, you wouldn't stop him and say empty your pockets. You kind of want to give him money.
Oh, all right. Maybe. All right. Let's leave Armin India. Let's leave Armin India alone now. I feel sorry for him. Let's start shitting on Pakistan now. That gutter-dwelling country.
Oh no!
No. Let me give Pakistan a little bit of a shot.
Because I know you Indian people from growing up. I know there's some famous beef going on between Indians and Pakistani people.
Let me say something. I like the Pakistani people as individuals, but your country is a gutter-dwelling shithole. And the reason being is because they've just now got a new prime minister called Imran Khan, who's a cricketer. Think about it. He's got no qualifications apart from hitting a ball. They've made him prime minister. And what they've done here is the first thing he wants to do. He's only been elected. Guess what he wants to do? Now, his country's got rat people in there. Yeah? People are inbreeding and turning into rats. People are shitting on the street. Yeah, there's terrorism. Everyone's killing each other. Yeah, the economy is complete garbage. Yeah, and it's one of the worst. We call it the turd of the world. Yeah, it's a turd of the world. It's the shittest country in the world. Now, what does he want to do?
Come on, be a bit balanced.
Now, hold on. Let me ask you a question. What do you think his first thing he wants to do when he's become prime minister? What does he want to do?
I don't know. All I know that he was married to Imran Khan.
What would you do if you knew your country was a gutter-dwelling country like that? What is the first thing you would do?
Pakistan is not. I cannot say that. I don't know.
I'm asking you a question. What would you do if your country was shit? What was the first thing you would do?
What's the first thing? I would try to sort out the issues that had causing a lot of problems for the country.
Oh, well done, Betty. Let's make you prime minister. Guess what he wants to do? Guess what he wants to do?
I have no idea.
He wants to go to the United Nations and bitch and whine about cartoons of their prophet. That's the first thing he wants to do.
Oh, he's upset. What cartoons?
Yeah, that's all he wants to do. So he's up. The first thing he wants to do is to go to the United Nations and start talking about cartoons and blasphemy. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying Pakistan is a turd of the world, because they've just proven it by electing a cricketer who can only hit a ball, and the only thing he wants to do is bitch and whine about blasphemy. So
is
Pakistan block me on my channel.
Is it the Islamic? Is it Islamic country? Is it the Pakistan Islamic Republic or something like that? Is that the title of Pakistan?
Yeah. And what it is, there's a village in Pakistan called Shodola, and the people have inbred so much. They've been effing their cousins so much. They turned into rats, Betty.
Oh, it makes me feel creepy. That story. I just like.
No, but it's true. I want to do a whole documentary. Everyone turned into rats, yeah. But when what's happened?
Don't show the picture because I was screaming.
You're gonna love it, Betty.
I'm gonna have to
Ratistan.
No, Raj, because we're gonna get. Manny's
channel. There's a whole village of them.
No, because this is what's gonna happen. If you say that now, you're gonna get strikes. They're gonna be Pakistani people that are gonna be really upset with what you said. So
they've already done it. No, hold on, they've already done it.
You'll be right.
No, but you know what a strike takes. No, but what they can do is they can ban you from live streaming.
They don't do that. They send little rat people down the line and they start biting the wires of the internet.
Raj is not listening. But Raj, let's have a debate about this, it being inbred. Right, we know the royal family are inbred, don't we? And I looked at the risk to people who marry their cousins. It's only an extra 4 to 5%. It's not much really of a risk.
They done in Newham, they got a large Pakistani community, and the stillbirth for most communities, babies dying is around, I think it's like 3% of births. With the Pakistanis, it's like maybe I think it was 25%. It's huge. Also, they're turning into rats. I mean, do you want to I'm not joking. They are turning. No, you don't understand. They are turning into rats. Yeah, they're turning into rats. And why? Look, I'm sorry, but you cannot. Your country is a shithole for a reason. Stop
No,
effing your cousins.
Raj, don't say that. Please apologise, Raj. You did not mean that, Raj.
Dude, let me say something.
He did not
Let me
mean
say
it.
something.
He
No,
didn't
I mean every word of it. Anyone come up
No,
to
he
Speaker's Corner
didn't.
and comes to me and says, "Oh, Pakistan's a good country," I say, "No, it's a gutter-dwelling shithole." And it's the reason it's a gutter-dwelling shithole is because you f your cousins.
No,
Yeah,
Raj is gonna get us a copyright strike. Now he's gonna get a strike on Mandy's channel, and he's not gonna be able to live stream for 3 months.
No, I've already got loads on my one talking about this. If we get striked, so what? Who cares? Now he can attack. Manny can put it on private if he wants.
No, because you know what we want? Yeah, because what we want is, because this is a really good show. I really like listening to you guys, because you know we don't have a lot of people that talk about Speaker's Corner and stuff like this. So we generally don't want Mandy to get a strike, because it's 3 months. It's a really long time. So please, Raj, apologise.
No, I meant every word of it. Anyone heard it? Not only that, I was actually nice.
But Raj, the scientific evidence. I had a look at this cousin marriage.
No, I'm not. No, let's not fall out, Betty. Let's not fall out, because if I start seeing you as someone who endorses that, I won't like you anymore. So let's not talk about
Raj, you have to like me, because at the end of the day, I have to be honest. My grandparents were second cousins. Yeah, we're not crazy. Yeah, second. We're not crazy. This,
but you do know the difference between first cousins and second cousins, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Basically meaning their cousins married each other. Now, the fact of the matter is, when you look at the scientific evidence, because I like to go on evidence, it's only 3 to 4%. Who is generally going to worry about 3 to 4% in the grand scheme of things? And no disrespect, Raj, but what if your cousin is very beautiful? What if you've got this amazing cousin that is just... It's making you pop in when you're thinking, definitely, I gotta go there.
Don't talk about this, please. Oh, I feel sick. All I'm gonna say to you, I'm gonna leave it at this, and let's not talk about it anymore. Let me just say one thing, I'm gonna send you a ticket to Pakistan. I'm gonna send you to show dollar, and then come back and tell me that it's okay. Because it is nasty.
But what about if we have a general debate? Because what I want to know is, in terms of the scientific debate, for the fact of the matter, it's only 4 to 3%. It's not enough. If it was 20%, the way people talk about cousin marriage and having children with your cousin, I thought it was like 20%. I go and look online, and they wrote it's only 4 to 5%.
Yeah, but Betty, you're looking at it from like an obvious sort of like deformities. Most of them, like maybe 30% of Pakistanis don't show obvious deformities. They're just complete brain dead, like retarded, like mentally. No, seriously. Oh my God! Why is it? Let me ask you a question. No, I can't say that. Listen, when you look at the statistics for Indians, Hindus, and Sikhs, we are way above Pakistani Muslims, way above in terms of education. Why? Because they're inbreeding and they're retarded around 30%. That's a fact. That's not me being racist. That's a fact. Why is it
weird? Put a disclaimer. I do not believe that Pakistani people are. Pakistan is a shit country. I don't believe that they're stupid. That's Raj speaking, not me.
Oh my God! I'm not. This is from statistics. When you go to university, you will see so many Sikhs and Hindus in university, even though we're quite a small population. But you won't see as many Pakistanis, and that is because of the inbreeding. I think they have a lower IQ. Yeah, because of inbreed. That doesn't mean they can't stop it. It's their own fault. It's like, eating shit or something. You know it's wrong. Stop it. So they're eating their own shit, which is in their own.
But what, the royal family?
So if I eat my own shit, hold on. If I eat my own, hold on. If I eat my own shit and then I started getting stomach problems, the only person to blame is me. Them effing their cousin is like me eating shit. The only person to blame is themselves.
But the fact of the matter is, in terms of people were marrying their cousins for donkey years, but the royal family. Let's talk about the royal families of Europe. They are inbred. Does that mean? Do you believe that the royal family are inbred, stupid shitholes?
If you go to history, there is some absolute lunatics within all of our families.
Raj, I had to mute you because I want to get a word in edgeways as well. But going back to the royal family, I think, but they do have problems. There's a large number of disabled royals that are hidden away from society over the last few generations. So it's not that they don't have issues. They do have inbreeding issues. It's just that they hide it from the public. Sorry,
Yeah.
Raj, unmuted now.
Yeah. And the thing is that if you
But
look
there's
into the
people
royal
who are
history
not
of Europe,
inbred that have these problems too.
I know
True,
we're not saying that.
But
We're not saying that.
But the percentage of those that have inbred is far higher.
Yeah, but it's not. We're only talking about 4 to 5%. You'd have to bring me the scientific evidence that says
Look at
this. Because
Pakistan.
when you look at because how can I trust you Indians? Because what I know is Indians and Pakistani people are having a beef. So
I don't
you're going to be
I don't have a
biased.
beef with them.
Yeah,
I
you're
don't have
going
a
to be
beef with them. I'm
biased.
just being
So
honest with you.
can you bring me the scientific evidence, so I can have a look at it?
Well,
Because
if you look at the mental health issues and disability issues and overlap it with the percentage of Pakistanis just for the UK, then you'll know.
well, can you just bring the evidence so I
I
can
will
have a
do.
look? Because I don't like
I
to
will
talk
do.
about things that
Sure.
I've not seen the evidence. I can only judge Pakistan on the people that I know who are Pakistani, and I've not had a general problem with people who are Pakistani. But but all I know is that when they say about having children with your cousin and breeding, it's only 4 to 5%. It's not a lot, If it's 20%, fair enough. But it's 4% is not enough for me to worry about, to tell you the honest truth. So if you're saying that these people who are constantly marrying their cousins and stuff like that, and the royal family have got problems, I would like to see that evidence.
All right, let me just say that the royal family, I'm going the whole show on inbreeding. It's going to be around 50 hours. I need to wait for non-stop. And the thing is that there is so many cases of mentally retarded people within the royal families that the royal families, you don't even see them because they used to hide them. Some of them actually started looking like rats themselves, and which is why they stopped doing it. And I'm going to say something to people, and including you, Betty. 400 or 500 years ago, people used to shit on the street. They used to eat food with fingers on their feet. They don't do that now. It's the same with inbreeding. We've bettered ourselves.
But Raj, it's because you don't have beautiful cousins. Is that why you don't want to marry them?
I'll be honest with you, Betty. I've never ever looked at any of my relatives, even second or third cousins, like that, because within the Sikh community we can't marry anyone, even third or fourth cousins. We're not allowed to.
Someone dropped a link. Is that true? People have said to me that Sikhs, there is a community of Sikhs that have married their cousins.
Guess where they're from?
Is this?
Guess where they're from? Guess where they're from? Guess where they're from? Afghanistan. The lunatics. Okay. There's such a small community that they didn't want to marry those rat people of Afghanistan, so they married their own rat people, just to preserve themselves. So we know we condemn them because they've been influenced by that disgusting culture of inbreeding, and we ostracize them as well and tore them off all the time. Stop effing your cousins and stuff. We find it disgusting. I'm sorry, you've got to hear the whole. I've said to people, I'm gonna shove that red pill right down your throat. You're not gonna have no choice. Stop effing your cousins.
Well, I don't think, Raj, at the end of the day, we all know that it's not going to change anytime soon. In terms of marrying your cousin, one of the reasons why people used to do it is simply because it would keep wealth in the family. Another thing in terms of protection, in terms of like if you go and marry another family, the people might be crazy. That there's other reasons why they used to do it. So let's try to be a bit balanced and not just put one side.
Balance on this. Saracen's in the house. Sorry, Saracen, I like you, but this cousin marriage is complete garbage.
What we do now, guys?
There is some things here. Like I don't know. Let's just say like shitting on the street. That is just totally out of order. And if your cousin is like shitting on the street, stop it. There's no ifs and buts about it. There's no point trying to reason with them. Just tell them, smack them in the mouth, do whatever you're gonna do.
But Raj, you're talking about a huge percentage of the world's population. That's the thing. You don't care.
I don't care. They're gonna have to stop doing this.
But they're not gonna do it, though, are they? Let's be honest. They're not gonna stop, are they?
Saracen said, let's do a one-on-one debate. Oh my god, I can't roast Saracen that hard. Sorry, Saracen. I don't want to ruin our friendship. So
what does it? Saracen Pakistani, isn't he? He's from Pakistan, isn't he? Saracen.
Of course, he's going to start talking gun that we call gun dirt, like rubbish about marrying his cousins. I have Saracen, I'm trying to get blocked in Pakistan, so I'm roasting Pakistan until I'm blocked. Pakistan,
no, we don't want this. We don't want it because we have to be careful.
No, my channel. I want it blocked in Pakistan because Titans TV is I want to go to Speaker's
Yeah.
Corner and say to everyone, my channel is blocked in Pakistan. That's like the biggest honor I can get.
Is everybody in Pakistan Muslim then? Is it a majority Muslim country?
Now there's Sikhs in there. There's a few Sikhs.
Yes,
There's a
it is,
few,
Betty. It's majority Muslim. Yeah, you're right.
like
Oh,
98% or something.
Because I just hear, like, when you remember the cartoons with Muhammad, and it was was there some kerfuffle in like Pakistan about that Danish person drawing the cartoons of Muhammad? Just remember Pakistan coming up. Was it Pakistan where the people got attacked or something or killed over these cartoons?
Yeah. Obviously, I remember the Charlie Hebdo. I don't really agree with drawing cartoons, but people shouldn't die over that stuff. Everyone's getting upset about my Pakistan roasting, especially
Why do you
Saracen.
not agree with it? Can I ask you a question about that? Why do you not agree with it?
I don't like it either. I think it's because it's sacred. That prophet is sacred to them, and even though we believe in freedom of speech, other people don't. And the fact of the matter is, they're ready to, attack you. If you say
That's the reason why, isn't it, Betty? Let's get to the crux of it. It's not really. It's because are you vocal about the fact that there's been a picture of a crucifixion amongst the woman's labia? I mean, you do know about this one, isn't it?
No, I've not heard anything like that.
Yeah, well, see, they've done this loads of times. Like, I think there's even one of a cross in a pool of piss and all the rest of it. Like, I could understand if this weren't allowed, like that, what's happened to the examples that I gave weren't allowed.
Yeah.
Then I could understand. But if that's allowed and someone just wants to draw a picture of the prophet, like I think we're kidding ourselves if we're saying anything else is that we're scared. That's why.
I think people are scared of the reaction. What I don't understand is why did people in Pakistan die or get attacked for the cartoon if it wasn't drawn in Pakistan? That's what I don't understand. I could understand if I don't understand.
Somebody might have supported their right to do it. So there was let me give you an example. There was a woman who's Christian, and she's in prison for blasphemy, and she's got on the death sentence. She's a Christian woman. They said allegedly she said something about Muhammad. So now she's on a death sentence. She's been in there for like 8 years. And then what happened was that one of the Pakistani politicians tried to defend her, and they killed him. So if you try and defend,
they killed him.
Yeah, and he tried to defend her, and he was trying to get her released, and because of that, he was called a traitor, and they shot him or killed him. So people do get kind of assassinated or attacked, not necessarily because they've done something, but they're defending someone else doing it.
Okay, so Pakistan is basically that ain't no joke. The country ain't no joke.
It is a joke. The country's a joke. It's the worst country in the world.
No, but basically, meaning human rights. They obviously don't respect human rights in that sense.
They don't. A woman's in prison for literally saying. I think what she said was Jesus Christ is a real thingy. The real. I'm a Christian and I believe in Jesus Christ. Something like that. It wasn't even nothing that bad. And then now she's in prison. She's been there for 8 years now. They're not talking about. Like putting her in prison. She got a death sentence on her. They're waiting to execute her for saying that. So you can't respect a country that is in that much of a shithole, and then the new prime minister comes and he's not trying to sort the economy out. He's just talking about freaking blasphemy laws when there's people in prison dying because of blasphemy laws.
But playing devil's advocate, like Mandy said, in terms of he couldn't understand why people like Jedi could not separate the actions of the British state to the British people. Can you not separate the actions of the Pakistani state from the Pakistani people?
Yeah, I do. I think there's some good Pakistanis. I mean, let me say something. Hold on. He's asking me, not you. You're Turk. You're Turk. You can't say nothing.
They're not that great. Like, you've seen the stoning and the hacking of people in there. They're willing to beat their women in the middle of the street. They're doing disgusting things. So, like, if you then see that.
Betty, can someone's Happy Now has mentioned you called Manny Mandy. So Manny is now the sex change. and he is now wearing he's a cross-dresser now, and he's now called Manny.
Sorry, Horde.
No, can I say so?
Manny?
Because there's people like Saracen who's Pakistani, there's JK who's Pakistani, there's Reza, there's all these people that I like as people. Yeah, they're good people, but your country's shit. The country is shit. It's a country that's shit, not them as people. It's garbage. It's like the turd of the world. So what am I supposed to say? I mean, you can't have people in prison for blasphemy and not say that's a turd of the world.
But don't you think, in terms of, like, I don't agree with what you say that they did. I don't agree with it. But unfortunately, many places in the world are very similar to Pakistan. There's places in Africa, if you say anything against the Prophet and things like that, you've finished. And I think...
Well, what's them places like, Betty?
Well, like northern Nigeria has Sharia law.
And is that a prosperous part of the world?
No, northern Nigeria isn't. No.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show. This just goes to show that the reason why it's like that is because of that. So they shouldn't be then angry and upset because they've not got that. Because every time they try to get that, they're only shit on it by turning it back down to what an Islamic country is. Turkey has got it right perfectly. Now, sadly, it's going downhill, admittedly, but it had it right. Like, religion, stay out of it. Business, move forward.
Even myself, someone who believes in religion, if I had a state for seeds, I wouldn't base it on religious law. I would want a secular country. You cannot have a country that's gonna. You can't have a country that's gonna be for everybody and is gonna be progressive and successful if you base it on religious law nowadays. It's just not gonna happen.
I don't think the modern world it's not about religion anymore. You can't have a state based on religion, I don't think. I think you're living in a bit of the dark ages if they think they can continue. Well, they are.
Let me just say something to Saracen. Let me just read out his comments. The administration of our country has been shit, but you shouldn't insult the whole country. Yes, I will. Pakistan's garbage. Yeah, until you go there and people like yourself go there and try and sort it out, your country will always be the turd of the world. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It is garbage. It will always be at the bottom until they start sorting themselves out and start having a theocracy and become a secular country. Sorry, Saracen.
Okay, guys, let's wrap it up because I've got to work tomorrow.
Okay.
Anyway, take care. Thanks for hosting.
Manny, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks,
Mandy. Thanks, Mandy.
Fuck off.
Mandy.
All right, guys. See you.
Anyway, take care.
Bye.
Bye. See you later.